Hello. Welcome to the Fanfic Majesty. If you want more content, you can follow me on Patreon. I will be uploading more content on there that will be exclusive. The link is in the description. Please support me. 19 SWTF. Chapter 451. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The addition of the sharp sword energy and the shock wave that destroys everything is far from the result that 1 + 1 = 2. The same goes for a Akainu lava fist. At the moment of collision, the cyan sword energy and the white shock wave suddenly burst into a dazzling light. Squeak, squeak. The sparks produced by the sound of cutting metal sounded in the sky, like fireworks in the dark night. Seeing this, Akainu sneered in his heart, burning with endless anger. The giant lava fist in his hand increased by 1 point again, and then pressed hard. This time, the old man will never go forward twice, and let you beat me. A flash of white light suddenly appeared, and the shock wave filled the air. Akainu felt that his body was smashed by a 10,000-pound sledgehammer. The blood spurted out of the mouth again. The whole person fell down again, and at the same time, the giant lava fist in the sky lost the control of Akainu, and was directly divided into two by the blue sword in front of him. Scattered not far away. The other side, rolling shockwave and Sengoku golden blast collide. Like Mars hitting Earth, the aftermath of terror spreads wildly in all directions like ripples in the sea. Wherever you pass, the flat ice surface explodes like a mirror in an instant. The gust of wind raged, causing the surrounding cold weather to suddenly increase by a few points. Advertisement. Some pirates who wore less clothes were directly swept up by this gust of wind, and immediately shivered. At the center, the two shocks were like different waves on the sea colliding together, and they rose directly into the sky. The huge shock was like a natural disaster, making everyone not far away trembling and fearful. The shock wave and golden light swept the world, turning the surrounding into two worlds. After a while, the two rays of light began to converge, leaving two terrifying wave marks at the end. Goo la la la, Sengoku, haven't seen you for decades. You're still the same strength. Whitebeard laughed, with a hint of sarcasm in his eyes. Humph, isn't it the same for you, even with all your strength? Sengoku snorted coldly, his face extremely ugly. He and Akainu's joint attack was easily broken by Whitebeard, which made him extremely unwilling. Exhausting all your strength, just you, Whitebeard sneered, disdain in his eyes, hockey sideways. Sengoku's face was even more gloomy. He didn't know whether what Whitebeard said was true or not, but he was not Whitebeard's opponent in his heyday, and he didn't know how much power Whitebeard could use now. Sabayati Archipelago, everyone watched the two bangs dissipate directly, and the horror in their eyes did not hide. This is Whitebeard's strength. It's a lie. Isn't this too strong? Akainu Admiral and Marshal Sengoku's attack just got cracked. As Marine going to lose? A sentence of exclamation came out of the mouth subconsciously. Whitebeard used his own strength to prove once again what is the strongest in the world and what is the head of the four emperors. Windmill Village. All the villagers gathered in the Maginot Bar, without saying a word, looking at the picture on the wall of the bar, where the picture was playing in Marineford Square. Advertisement. Next to Maginot, there is a projection phone bug. I think this is Garp's benefit to Fengche Village. On the field, a figure in a white shirt and a mask appeared there. Even Maginot was worried. A pair of slender hands unconsciously tugged at the sleeves of his body, and his tender eyes were full of tension. Although she is not a combatant, she knows the weirdness of space-capable people. Even if her strength is not enough, it is still possible to take Ace away. The fact is just as Sengoku expected. Facing Luffy, Garp just roared, and then Luffy knocked him to the ground with a punch, and Marine's hero image fell to the altar. Not far away, Crocodile put away the sand in his hand, with a flat face. Straw Hat Boy, we are the two of you for saving me. After reading it, everyone in the Windmill Village talked a lot. It will soon be approaching the direction of Ace. Sengoku breathed a sigh of relief. His face did not change. Just in case, I didn't expect to use it. Of course, the manpower is sometimes exhausted, and at this moment, a burst of sound came from the sky. Sengoku felt bad at this time, and a loud roar resounded throughout Marineford. Except for some middle-level and high-level leaders who were still fighting, the minions on both sides chose to stop by coincidence. Beside, Xiao Nan seemed to see Maginot's nervousness, tugged at Maginot's sleeve, and whispered, Sister Maginot, don't worry. Brother Ace, he will be fine. Is this the father that Ace recognizes? He is so strong. Ace is saved. Quick, quick, stop the straw hat. Shoot me, shoot. Never let him reach the fire fist Ace. A marine general came back to his senses and shouted. Whitebeard's face was ugly. CP organization. It seems that the world government is very concerned about Ace's affairs, and they even sent them out. A blood hole suddenly appeared on the forehead of the executioner on the execution platform, and Yang Qian fell to the ground. Oh, I know. Ace will definitely get through this difficult time. Maginot forced a smile and rubbed Xiao Nan's blushing face. Advertisement. Looking at the executioner's raised eyes, Luffy's eyes were split open, and while shouting anxiously, he ran his legs hard. Of course, as soon as he finished speaking, a sudden change occurred, and a sound of tearing the air sounded, and the black whip leg slammed into Luffy's back with tremendous force, turning Luffy's whole body into a crescent moon, like a flowing stream, slamming towards Luffy's back, far away. I just don't know if Hanxing will pass, alas. I hope Hanxing can pass. Sand Crocodile. Sengoku's face gradually twisted, staring at Crocodile not far away, saying every word. This time gave Luffy an opportunity. He ignored it and ran directly in the direction of Ace. He had already crossed the 7 warlords of the sea in front of him and arrived at the position where the 3 admiral had just been. If only Brother Hanxing were here. If he were here, then Brother Ace would definitely be gone. Xiao Nan said, Baby Fat's face full of sadness. Ace, I'm here to save you, Luffy said with a smile, looking at the embarrassed figure in front of him. Executioner, execute me, execute fire fist Ace. I hope Garp doesn't shoot, otherwise, Whitebeard. Hanxing, Maginot murmured softly, the way Hanxing left that night, and the current reward, if he is, maybe. After hitting Garp, Luffy wasted some time, but it was enough time for the executioner on the execution stand to execute the death sentence. Thank you, Laosha, Luffy thanked him, revealing a touch of white fang, and the running room had come to Ace's side. Maginot clasped his hands together and prayed to himself. On the field, as the 3 attacks ended, the field became strangely calm. Marshal Marine and Marine Admiral can kill in seconds, Ace is not wrong. His roar made everyone around him come back to his senses, and at the same time, some pirates tried desperately to block Marine in front of him and win a chance for Luffy. As for Garp next to Ace, he doesn't hold out any hope at all, knowing the character of his old friend, and adding that Luffy is Garp's grandson, this old guy will definitely be defeated by Luffy on purpose and let him rescue Ace successfully. Chapter 452. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The organization is the secret army of the world government. No individual is very powerful. These people are in groups of 8. What about the others? Why don't you see them? Whitebeard said solemnly. When the time comes, it will naturally appear, Sengoku said flatly. The emergence of the CP organization has brought the battle situation to a new level at this time. The figure on the execution platform on the field didn't talk nonsense after knocking Luffy into the air, and walked slowly to Ace's side, his eyes cold and said, "It's time for you to hit the road." Point your index finger, and a blast of air comes out of your hand. Marine 6 styles, finger pistol. Seeing this, everyone's expressions changed greatly, especially when Luffy saw the masked finger pistol. He yelled, "Ace." Even Whitebeard, who has always been known for his cheerfulness, showed a hint of anger on his face. CP organization, if you dare to kill Ace, this old man will definitely uproot you Marines and organization personnel in New World. The sound was cold and murderous, and the temperature around Marineford began to drop rapidly, as if the middle of winter. Whether it was Marine or the pirates around the scene, this surge of killing intent was enveloped, and the whole body suddenly became shivering, trembling all over. Everyone didn't pay attention to Whitebeard's roar at this time, and their eyes were all staring at the index finger on the execution platform. The index finger, which is only about 1 meter away from Ace, as long as the finger pistol is issued, Ace will surely die. As soon as Ace dies, the battle will end, Marine wins, and successfully increases Marine's prestige on the sea. Time seems to be stagnant, delayed, and everyone can see the index finger a little, and an air bomb slowly appears, directly shooting Ace's brain. Advertisement. Just when everyone is stunned, a sigh resounded all around, and the sigh grew louder and louder until it rang through Marineford. Behind Ace, the air ripples and turns into a small vortex, and the air bomb in front of it directly enters the vortex. At the same time, a thin figure came out, with a handsome face, delicate facial features, a lazy smile on the corner of his mouth, and bright and deep eyes, as undetectable as the sea. Yo, it's been a long time, everyone. This is the first time on TV. I'm a little nervous. Hanxing greeted the video phone bug in the distance with a smile. It's him, Big Blue Hanxing, terrorist existence offering a reward of 5 billion existences. Who was tied with Whitebeard's bounty? The new emperor of the sea. The appearance of Hanxing made Marine, who was not far away, talk a lot, and there was a hint of fear in his eyes. This guy, sure enough, it's here. This pot clenched his fists tightly, and a layer of cold sweat appeared on his forehead unconsciously. Trouble, this time the plan may be in vain. Kizaru pursed his chin and muttered softly. Not only Kizaru, but the generals in Marine all had the same complexion as Sengoku, as black as the bottom of a pot. With just one Whitebeard pirate group, they will use all of Marine's combat power, plus a Hanxing who can smash all of their Marine's top combat power. It can be said that Marine has no chance of winning. Although, Sengoku said that the 5 elders would send the entire CP organization to come to support, but they knew that Hanxing was so powerful that more ants would kill an elephant, provided that the elephant was an old and dying elephant. But the one in front of you is far from being killed by ants. Plus there are everyone from Redfield. No matter how many CP organizations there are, they are nothing but food delivery. Of course, there are exceptions. There is one person who is different from other Marine generals. This person is naturally our old Garp. Next to it, a space door suddenly appeared, and then, members of the CP organization came out. Advertisement. In order to save him, the Whitebeard pirates came out and fought against the Marine 10W elite. Although there are no casualties at the top, the minions below have already died in the hundreds. As for Hanxing himself, listening to the discussion of the people not far below, the corners of his mouth twitched. What a blue giant. What a blue devil. These are the titles given by that fool, so ugly. Yeah, he's really here. A smile appeared on Magino's soft face, and his tense body unwittingly relaxed. With Hanxing appearing, Ace should no longer have any problems. You are very lucky. This is the first time that our entire CP organization has dealt with you alone. Alan said indifferently. Regret, Ace whispered. Not only regret, but utter regret, looking at those former brothers who risked their lives to save him, and Luffy who was covered in wounds. He really thought he was dead. Several families are happy and some are sad. Hanxing's appearance is the most realistic portrayal of the present. After all, he is the one who controls the battle. Ignoring the voices of the people in the distance, Hanxing patted Ace on the shoulder and said with a smile, "What? Seeing so many people who saved you now, do you regret not listening to my warning?" It's Big Brother Hanxing. Big Brother Hanxing is out. Xiao Nan from Windmill Village said excitedly. Cold, Hanxing, female. Who is he? Male to female. Don't think about it. If you want to know, you will know. Hanxing, the leader of the Purple-Eyed Thunder Emperor pirates. It is said that he can transform into a giant of 1,000 meters, the one who can move mountains and mountains. Two people talking, no one else can hear. Weak. It's also weak for a strong person like you, but who told you that I'm alone? It's time for everyone to come out. The Lord has appeared, Galen said flatly. Advertisement. Sabayadi Archipelago. With Hanxing appearing in this strange way, everyone became silent, and the pen in the front of the reporter's hand fell to the ground without knowing it. These are all to die to save him. How can he not regret it? How do you say it? Regret the beginning. Oh, forgot. I don't really care about a little minion. If you want to blame it, you are too weak. Hanxing replied indifferently. Why? Hanxing swept away and said lazily, I owe someone a favor, and she asked me to help you two brothers when you were in trouble. But below, the whole pirate and marine exploded. I said, are you two taking me too seriously? The members of the CP organization behind them couldn't bear it anymore. Seeing Hanxing appear, Garp's gray face showed a hint of emotion. He knew that with Hanxing appearing, Marine's plan was going to go bankrupt this time. You want to save me? Why? Ace was puzzled. He met Hanxing only twice today. Why did Hanxing risk such a big risk to save him? Women. Ace frowned, thinking about the women she knew in her mind. Are they going to join the fight too? It seems that these people do not exist in front of them, or that these people are not in their eyes. This is the price of being young and frivolous. I hope that after this time, you can change your impulsive temper well. Then do I want to say, thank you very much. Hanxing's expression remained unchanged, and he whispered softly. These people exude a faint coercion, and at least have the strength of Naval Headquarters Rear Admiral. 1 or 2, in the blink of an eye, the entire execution platform is surrounded by members of the CP organization. There are no less than 50 people at a glance. When they came back to their senses, everyone opened their mouths in horror. The leader is between Admiral and Vice Admiral, which is equivalent to the T-Dolphin and Momosuke in Marine. Chapter 453. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. The organization actually joined the fight. We have a good chance of winning this time. These pirates are finished. The pirate Marine both spoke one after another. The difference is that the pirate's face is lonely, while Marine is extremely happy. Looking at the dense figures, it seems that the entire organization of CP0 CP9 is just like our pirate group. Margao looked at the rain-like figure in the distance, and his face was gloomy. Well, no way. The raiders always appear at the end. Kizaru pretended to be relaxed, but in his heart he was not at all worried about the CP organization not far away. After all, if anyone in the entire Marine understands Hanxing's strength the most, he has to be him. Those people are definitely not Hanxing's opponents. How many ants can shake a giant tree? On the execution platform, Hanxing looked at the dense crowd around him, his expression did not change. It's useless to talk too much. Our purpose is to deal with it. Now that you appear, we naturally don't have to hide. Alan finished speaking coldly, with a flat tone, go. CP organized a group of 8 people from 0 to 9 and now all dispatched a total of 80 people. Each of the 80 people is skilled in two-color hockey. Marine 6 styles is trained by the world government with a huge amount of money. These people cooperate tacitly, and each group of people can also get out of the Marine Admiral. There are 10 groups of people who are comparable to Marine Admiral, not to mention that there is only one Hanxing. Even if all the Hanxing pirates come out, they are sure to kill Hanxing and others. Advertisement. Sengoku thought about what the 5 elders told him that night, but is it really what the 5 elders said? After all, Hanxing is no ordinary admiral. Just as Sengoku frowned and pondered, on the execution platform, all members of the CP organization suddenly closed their eyes, and used all kinds of their own unique tricks to blast Hanxing. This kind of attack is indistinguishable, obviously want to kill with ace under this wave of attacks. Too naive, Hanxing shook his head in disdain. There was a ripple behind him, and a space vortex quietly appeared in front of Ace. With a push, Ace fell directly into the vortex. Looking at Hanxing himself, he turned his head and looked straight at all the attacks from the CP organization. Whoosh whoosh, finger pistol, tempest kick, ... All kinds of attacks, all fell on Hanxing with Hanxing's indifferent eyes. A scene that shocked and even terrified everyone appeared. The frightening attack that filled the sky passed directly through Hanxing, fell below, or made a roar on the ground in the distance. The head, body, hands and feet were all attacked by the CP organization, but these attacks all passed through Hanxing, if ordinary people were directly beaten into a sieve by this wave of intensive attacks. A capable one, a man murmured. The next moment, the whole person appeared in front of Hanxing out of thin air, and the black whip legs rubbed against the air to generate a hot spark, with a terrifying roar, and swept down towards Hanxing. It's useless, Hanxing reminded kindly. Advertisement. Whoosh, the powerful whip leg swept across Hanxing's body. Due to the excessive force, the CP organization member did not control it well, and finally stopped in midair for a few spins. How is that possible? It's not demon fruit power. Alan's face was extremely ugly. As CP0, he is considered the leader of the entire CP organization, and he has seen a lot of wind and waves, and he is the first time he has seen such a strange opponent. All attacks are invalid, it is not yet demon fruit power, even he is a little overwhelmed for a while. Is it the ability of the phantom fruit? The phantom is left here, and the main body is hidden in a place in Marineford. A CP organization member suggested. A team to search around. Alan said, yes, the captain of the first team said, and a few people just wanted to leave. The indifferent Hanxing next to him spoke up. What are you searching for? Now that you have finished attacking, then it's my turn. The dark gray thunder light filled the air, and the terrifying thunder energy made Alan and the others numb their scalps and were terrified. I will die, I will die. Feeling the sudden thunder and lightning in Hanxing's hands, a voice in my mind reminds me crazily. Hanxing then waved, and the thunder and lightning in his hand grew long against the wind, and in an instant 1.2, 2.4, in an instant, it turned into a dense number of thunders that appeared above each CP member's head. Goodbye everyone. Hanxing smiled and waved his right hand down. Get out of the way, Alan roared, and after speaking, the whole person took the lead in flying towards the distance. Suddenly, a pain of ultimate came from his whole body, like countless ants biting, his body seemed to fall apart, and a feeling of weakness in bones and muscles gushed all over his body. How is that possible? I have clearly escaped. How can I still be attacked? Full of unwillingness, Alan fainted directly. Advertisement. Hanxing looked indifferent, his black eyes turned scarlet at some point, and sneered, I really thought that if you close your eyes, you won't be deceived by illusions. It's a pity, there are still 2 or 3 members of the CP organization alive in this move. It seems that the power of thunder and lightning needs to be strengthened. He said to himself. Hanxing flashed and appeared next to Alan, kicking the last 1-3 of them were trampled to death. At the moment Hanxing disappeared, the entire marine battlefield, not everyone on the sea, all had expressions of horror. Marine's reinforcements just died. This Hanxing is so powerful, as expected of a dark blue troll. What's going on here? It's obvious that Hanxing is by Whitebeard's side. Marine is in trouble this time. Some ordinary people came back to their senses and spoke in horror. They were just ordinary people, and they didn't know who the people who just appeared. But, no matter who those people are, they thought they were very strong from the big lineup they just appeared on the stage. But what we can see in reality, he sent a big push attack, without hurting Hanxing in the slightest, but was wiped out by Hanxing's thunder, and he couldn't even hide, as if he was frightened. Force. But marine executives, Shang Sengoku Garp and other powerful people don't think so. They clearly saw that at the moment when Hanxing sent a thunderbolt and flew into the air and landed on the CP organization, Hanxing's eyes suddenly turned red, and the CP organization and others who wanted to fly away suddenly froze. After that, he was hit by the thunder of the sky, like black raindrops falling on the ground, his body turned black, and there was a burning smell on his body. They sensed it with their sight, hearing and color, except for a few powerful CP organization members who survived, all the others died. One move, destroy the entire CP organization, and destroy the world government's efforts and resources for many years. With this move, the world government's efforts of dozens or even hundreds of years have been in vain. Suddenly, the sharp-eyed Sengoku saw Hanxing appear in front of the 3 CP organization members who were not dead. He knew that at this moment, the CP organization cultivated by the world government disappeared. Maybe it will be rebuilt in the future, but there will be no CP organization agents on the sea in a short time. Chapter 454. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Tisk tisk, what a terrifying fellow. The world government is going to suffer a lot this time. Margao looked at the CP organization that had been wiped out in the distance with a bit of schadenfreude in his eyes. Kizaru, you are not very good. When you came out, the heifer stood upside down, hanged upside down, and was completely destroyed in the next second. Akainu is like this. CP organization is like this again. Is Marine this trendy now? Humph, don't be proud of Margao. Do you think Whitebeard is his opponent? Tell you, when Hanxing deals with you, you will not look like this. Kizaru snorted coldly. Now with Hanxing appearing, Kizaru knew that this battle had become a foregone conclusion and that it would be a waste of time to fight, so he stopped immediately. His body was filled with golden light, and he appeared beside Sengoku. Marshal Sengoku, still fighting. Quietly, Aokiji turned into an ice sculpture and appeared out of thin air. Not only Aokiji, but these marine generals seemed to have discussed it. In the blink of an eye, all the marine generals gathered around Sengoku, all of them looking at Sengoku, waiting for Sengoku's order. Sengoku clenched his fists tightly, the veins on his forehead bulged, and his face was unwilling. From the appearance of Hanxing to the instant killing of all CP organization members with one move, these situations that could dominate the battlefield only happened in an instant. It's too fast. It's too late for him to support, too late to react. Now that the Whitebeard pirates have Hanxing to join, they still take Ace away and fight again. The result is self-evident. Marine is in danger of being wiped out. If you don't fight, people all over the world are watching. If you give up, Marine will lose all face in the sea, and his reputation will be greatly damaged, and it will drop to the lowest point in the world. In this way, the pirates will be more rampant, the sea will be more chaotic, and Sengoku will be in a dilemma for a time. As long as everyone knows how to choose this kind of choice, Sengoku is not reconciled. Not reconciled. After working hard for several months, it ended in failure, and even lost the entire secret service organization of the world government. How can you be reconciled? Advertisement. Everyone, not the whole world, is under the shadow of the video phone bug, waiting for Sengoku's response. Wow, the space was distorted, and Hanxing took Ace out of it. He threw Ace on the Whitebeard pirates, with a hint of ridicule on his face. Yo. Sengoku, we haven't seen you for a long time. This battle gives me face. Let's stop here. Impossible. Marine will never compromise with the pirates. A majestic roar came from behind, Akainu's chest heaving, blood on his forehead, and he walked out. The whole body is filled with hot lava, like an undefeated Xiaoqiang who came back from hell. Oh, no, then let's add some people. Hanxing's expression remained unchanged, and he shouted to the sky, it's time for the end. You should come down too, let the others. The people of the whole world see us. The strength of the pirates. Hanxing's words, everyone at the scene followed Hanxing's eyes to the sky. At this time, the video phone next to it was aimed at the sky in a timely manner. A black spot gradually appeared in the sky, and the black spot became bigger and bigger until it covered the whole sky. It was a ship, a pirate ship much larger than the Mobity. This pirate ship is suspended in midair. Please see clearly what everyone sees, especially the flag above the pirate ship. Purple-eyed Thunder Emperor pirates. Kunpeng. Looking at the pirate ship that covered the sky above, Sengoku and the other marine executives looked even more ugly, and their hearts sank to the bottom of the valley. Originally, Sengoku had been looking for traces of Hanxing and others when he executed Ace, but he never expected that they would be able to hide the pirate ship thousands of miles high in the sky. In the shock of everyone, the huge pirate ship slowly fell to the ice like a falling meteorite. Advertisement. The cadres on the plywood, led by Redfield and Kaido, appear behind Hanxing. Boss Hanxing, you were too boring. I thought I could play a good match. Peggy Wan said with some resentment. That's it. I thought you could give us some of those CP organization agents. The broken-mouthed Urti also said full of words. Captain, remember to leave some for us in the future. You will defeat everyone, and we will have nothing to challenge. Bullet followed. Sorry. Itchy hands for a while, but not anymore. Hanxing smiled apologetically. Hanxing chatted at random here, but the whole world was stunned by the luxurious lineup of the Hanxing pirates. The three of the pirates didn't talk about it before, but as Marine revealed the deeds of the three, everyone knew how powerful these three were. But, what the hell is Kaido of the Beasts and his pirate group? Are the two working together temporarily? Some smart people have discovered some serious problems from the conversation of Hanxing et al., that the member of Beasts Pirates is called Hanxing Boss. A frightening and incredible thought quickly formed in his mind. Beasts Pirates joined the Hanxing Pirates. Before these people could say anything, they saw Hanxing introduce with a smile to the video phone bug in the distance. I'm here today, in addition to saving Ace out, I also want to stop this war. Finally, I'm going to introduce the new members of our pirate team. Said, pointing to Kaido of the Beasts and others, these people are very familiar to you, so I won't introduce them. As soon as Hanxing's voice fell, the ordinary people who were watching from afar instantly caused an uproar. Is that a lie? Beasts Pirates actually joined Hanxing's pirate group. Doesn't that mean that Hanxing is already one of the 4 emperors today? Advertisement. It's messed up. The world is going to be messed up. This scene happened in all corners of the world, even all the Marines on the field were no exception, discussing in a low voice. The eyes were frightened, and the timid body even shivered involuntarily. I don't blame them. After all, these Marines are ordinary people, and I also blame this news for being so shocking. No matter what the people around him thought of him, Hanxing turned his eyes to Sengoku and the others, pointed to the Kaido people behind him, and said with a playful look in his eyes, is it okay to add them? Sengoku nodded gloomily, yes, I just don't know Whitebeard's opinion. Although the redhead had already said hello in advance, after seeing that Hanxing really subdued the Beasts Pirates, he couldn't help but tremble in his heart. He knew that with Hanxing subduing the Beasts Pirates, and the red hair being crippled by Hanxing, the 4 emperors' forces formed by New World would completely dissipate, and they would once again enter a situation of fighting for supremacy. No, to be precise, Hanxing led the Beasts Pirates to conquer the New World. What about you, Red Dog, Kaido, Kane? Hanxing didn't miss the chance to hit Akainu. Akainu looked indignant, his chest rose and fell, his fists clenched, and he was silent. As a soldier, you know how to choose and go to war, knowing that the battle will wipe out our entire army, then you are a fool. Seeing that Akainu didn't reply, Hanxing was a little bored and turned to look at the stalwart figure not far away. This is the first time he has seen Whitebeard himself. Tangled muscles, dense scars and the iconic crescent moon beard in Naginata. Chapter 455. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Is the strongest in the world. With a murmur in his heart, Hanxing said with a flat face, Sengoku has already replied. How about you? Goo la la la. Now that Sengoku has stopped fighting, of course this old man has stopped fighting too. Whitebeard smiled heartily, his sharp eyes shot directly at Hanxing, as if he wanted to see through Hanxing. Also, thank you for saving my disobedient son. No need. Entrusted by others, it is a matter of loyalty. If you want to thank him for having a good sister. Hanxing smiled indifferently. Both sides agree to a truce, and this battle is of course no longer meaningful. I declare, this battle is over, both sides will go back to their respective homes and leave the arena. A faint voice resounded throughout Marineford and spread throughout the world through videophone bugs. This time, Hanxing made a big show in front of the whole world and made a show of it. As soon as the words fell, both Marine and the pirates began to cheer, and some even shed tears of excitement, obviously they didn't want to fight anymore. Just when everyone cheered loudly, a piercing laughter came from a distance, until it spread throughout the battlefield. The cheering crowd paused and looked up following the sound. Blackbeard Teach walked in with a grim look with a little brother she had just conquered from Impel Down. Advertisement. Thief ha ha ha, Marshal Sengoku, sorry, I'm late. Blackbeard walked up to Sengoku, gave a shocked look at Hanxing prison not far away, and Whitebeard gave a rough smile. This smile made Hanxing in the distance feel disgusting. Blackbeard, the most forbearing and most powerful careerist in the pirate world, for a dark fruit can hide in the Whitebeard pirates for decades. Even for this fruit, he directly killed Sachi, the captain of the 4th Division who had fought side by side for many years, and would do anything to achieve his goal. Ambition, strength, forbearance, anything that fits the villain's characteristics can be installed on him. Blackbeard is arguably one of the most hated people among pirates. Teach, Ace was covered in flames, looking at Blackbeard in the distance with hatred in his eyes. In the end, this battle is to save him, but if you're looking for the root cause, it's still up to Blackbeard. If he hadn't killed Thatch, none of this would have happened, and so many brothers wouldn't have died. Ace can be said to hate Blackbeard to the core. He has never been so eager to kill a person. You were rescued. What a surprise. Blackbeard was stunned at first. Obviously this was not what he expected. Damn it. Ace clenched his fists. If he used to follow his temper, he would have rushed up. But now that he has experienced life and death and has been reborn, his mind has grown, and he will not be as reckless as before. Snapped. At this moment, Whitebeard put his palm on Ace's shoulder and said with a flat face, "This person is the one who judged our Whitebeard pirates, and I, the captain, should clean the door myself." Dad. Advertisement. Sengoku. Everyone in the sea knows that Blackbeard is a traitor of our pirate group, and the cause of this battle is also because of him, and now I will clear the door as the captain. You have no opinion. Whitebeard narrowed his eyes were like sharp swords, and he looked at Blackbeard teach in the distance, and shouted loudly. Blackbeard's body trembled when he saw Whitebeard's eyes, and there was a trace of cold sweat on his forehead. Sengoku, don't forget that I'm one of the Shichibukai. If you really agree to Whitebeard's request, what will the distant marine see? What will the world see? What will the other Shichibukai see? Blackbeard is worthy of being the most cunning of the pirates, and a few words directly speak to Sengoku's heart. Marine has been thrown into the sea because of Ace's incident. If you hand over Shichibukai to Whitebeard, Marine's reputation will be ruined. Although Shichibukai are all composed of pirates, and their marine series are very disliked, but no matter how disliked they are, these pirates belong to their side and belong to him. If he handed it over, I'm afraid that the Shichibukai present will be extremely dissatisfied with him. If they don't pay, can Whitebeard still fight? War. Thinking of this, Sengoku's eyes flashed, and Hanxing immediately came to his mind, and a plan was formed in an instant. He first glanced at Hanxing and said solemnly to Whitebeard, Blackbeard is one of our new Shichibukai in Marine. Marine can't give him to your pirates. What, do you want to break the truce that the two sides just made and start a war? Sengoku sneered. As long as Whitebeard chooses to go to war, it will not only offend Marine, but also the Hanxing pirates. You must know that the truce between the two sides is the guarantee made by Hanxing. If Whitebeard is torn apart, the battle will be reversed immediately, possibly sending Hanxing directly to them. Not far away, Hanxing's expression did not change, and he sneered again and again in his heart. This is a good plan for Sengoku, even he was counted. Unfortunately, his wishful thinking is doomed to fail. Blackbeard himself is a little confused. What is the situation? What does Sengoku mean when the war is over? Advertisement. Is he late? That's not right. Haven't the Whitebeard pirates left yet? Suddenly, he remembered something, looked at Hanxing and others not far away, and thought to himself, it should be Hanxing and the others. Whitebeard is silent. As the captain of the pirate group, in addition to his extraordinary strength, his IQ is naturally high, but he usually relies on the world's number one, and he doesn't like to use his brain very much. Now, when I think about it, I instantly understand Sengoku's plan. But, he's a little unwilling to let Blackbeard go like this. Not only did this guy kill Sachi, but he also caused the battle between the pirates and Marine. Thinking of this, Whitebeard looked at Hanxing and said loudly, Little brother Hanxing, if our pirate team is fighting Marine, will you intervene? Are you sure? I have rescued Ace for you, and the purpose of your coming here has been fulfilled, fighting Marine for a Blackbeard. Is it worth it? Hanxing frowned. Goo la la la, some things can't be done, some things must be done. Blackbeard Teach killed our pirate squad leader Sachi and defected, and almost killed Ace indirectly. This kind of person, I, Whitebeard, as the captain, must kill the traitor. Whitebeard smiled heartily, his face meaningless. Go on like this, you will die, Hanxing said solemnly. I know, the old man has lived for a long time, and he will die. But, if I can kill the traitor of the Whitebeard pirates before I die, I will be content. So, I have nothing more to say, Hanxing sighed. It seems that he can't change the outcome of the battle of the top. From Whitebeard's words and his face, Hanxing can see the death intent on his body. Originally, I wanted to change the outcome of the battle of the top and then fight with Whitebeard. Now it seems that his thoughts are going to waste. It seems that after today, to fully expand, Whitebeard and Redhead's territory will be taken first. Chapter 456. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Dad, the senior executive of the Margao pirates behind him, looked at Whitebeard worriedly, with an unbearable feeling in his heart. Dad, let's go. It's a long time to come. As long as we go back, we will have a chance to catch Blackbeard. I don't want to. The corners of Hanxing's mouth twitched. Is the picture going to be reversed again? Interesting. Will Whitebeard listen to Ace? This ending drama is getting better and better. Ace, Sachi's revenge was originally revenge for the old man, but now when Blackbeard appears, the old man takes this opportunity to get rid of him. Even if he is at war with Marine, he must not let a traitor be free on the sea. Whitebeard's eyes narrowed, stare, holding the Naginata sword majestic. I know Dad, but I want to avenge this revenge myself. Alone, I'll kill him later. Ace looked solemn. Margao looked at Ace with admiration. The current scene is indeed not suitable for fighting with Marine, it is suitable for leaving. After all, this is Marine's territory, and the battle is finally stopped. Dad is provoking a war. The biggest chance of losing is them. And Hanxing said it very clearly, Ace is just to repay the favor and start the war again. Not only do not give Hanxing their face, but it is certain that Hanxing will not help them. As the captain of the first team, Marco immediately thought of these things in his mind like lightning. Ace can stop Dad. It seems that there are no white hits in this war. At least let me know how to think and not act recklessly like before. Ace, have you made up your mind? After Dad helps you kill Blackbeard, the Whitebeard pirates will rest in peace. If you want to kill yourself, it may take a long time. Whitebeard looked at Ace deeply. Think about it. Ace looked firm. Thief, ha ha ha. I laughed so hard. You two really kill me because you can. Don't be afraid to flash your tongue when you talk. Whitebeard is so possible. But, Ace, who gave you confidence? Blackbeard stationed beside Sengoku. He smiled viciously. Hearing Blackbeard's laughter, Sengoku frowned. Blackbeard knew that Whitebeard was going to kill him, but he didn't know what to do. Was it a deliberate provocation to cause the Marine and Whitebeard pirates to fight again? Looking for death. Here, Whitebeard is not so easy to talk about. He wanted to kill Blackbeard Teach, but now he can no longer suppress the anger in his heart. With a wave of the Naginata, a white glow appeared. Advertisement. This white light is not like a shock wave with sword energy just now, but a pure shock wave. Whitebeard wants to kill Blackbeard directly. The white shock wave turned into a crescent moon and galloped towards Blackbeard. This crescent moon was very ordinary, and it didn't feel any dangerous aura from the outside. But Blackbeard is a dead soul. After staying in the Whitebeard pirates for decades, he naturally understands all of Whitebeard's moves. This move is called shock wave slash, and it is one of Whitebeard's best tricks. The most frightening thing is that this move will lock the opponent in one place, and he can't dodge even if he wants to dodge it, so he can only resist. And this time, this move is naturally locked on him. Regardless of the reaction of Sengoku next to him, Blackbeard Teach's whole body is filled with black energy, like a demon who has walked out of the demon world. With a big wave of his hand, the black flames on his body surged rapidly, instantly converging into a huge black ball like round jade. The black air filled the air, and the black ball in Blackbeard's hand expanded again, like a small black full moon. Ha ha ha, I'm not what I used to be. Don't underestimate me, Whitebeard. Looking at the black full moon in his hand, Blackbeard Teach's eyes became more confident. With a ferocious smile, he held the black full moon in the air and blasted it towards the white crescent not far away. The moment the two meet, the plain white crescent moon instantly takes revenge and shines brightly. Click, click, how is that possible? Teach's eyes were filled with disbelief, and before he could move, his whole body was enveloped in white shock waves. The shock wave spread and swept, and in an instant, the black sphere in front of the white full moon instantly turned into mist and exploded. Seeing Whitebeard's choice, Sengoku and the others breathed a sigh of relief. Whitebeard didn't want to fight, so why would he want to fight? If he wanted to fight, he would have started a war through the Blackbeard incident. Advertisement. Do you guys fight or not? If we don't fight, we will withdraw first. Hanxing stretched his waist and took a long breath. Inside came the piercing screams of Blackbeard Teach. Let's go. Whitebeard glanced at Hanxing, and then looked at Blackbeard and Sengoku, and said in a low voice. Nothing else matters. Looking at the back of Whitebeard and others leaving, Hanxing looked at Yamato beside him, and said flatly, why don't you say a word to Ace? Marshal Sengoku. Whitebeard openly attacked Shichibukai. This is provoking us, Marine. He is not taking you seriously, Marshal Sengoku. Let's go to war. If he left, Zhao Ming was designated to finish the game. Therefore, Blackbeard stood aside with a grim expression, joined his own pirate group, and did not speak, causing the people around him to look at him strangely. No need. He is safe and sound. I can rest assured. I will always do my best for the pirates in the future. Yamato said firmly. After looking around, he turned around and said plainly, I didn't see anything. In his opinion, both Whitebeard and Blackbeard are dog bites, as long as Blackbeard doesn't die. Blackbeard Teach walked out of the pothole with a look of embarrassment, looking at Whitebeard not far away with a gloomy expression, his body filled with murderous intent. Click, click, the remaining prestige remains unabated, like a stream of white light, shrouding Blackbeard Teach in an instant. After a while, the pirate group led by Whitebeard left safely one after another, along with reinforcements brought by Luffy and others. As you like, Hanxing shook his head. Advertisement. You, Marshal Sengoku, that's how you treat a Shichibukai, Blackbeard said with a sullen look on his face. A gray-black electric arc galloped past like a sharp arrow, and when Blackbeard didn't react, it rushed to him. Let's go too. Ignoring Sengoku and others, Hanxing took Kaido and the others aboard the Kunpeng. We thought you were going to fight Whitebeard directly, but we didn't want to fight us the other way around. After a few minutes, the screams ended. Blackbeard laughed in anger, but he didn't dare to leave at this time. Everyone knew that Whitebeard was going to kill him, and he was under the protection of Sengoku at this time, so he couldn't die anyway. The point is that Hanxing is still there, and Blackbeard is an ambitious person, so naturally Sengoku won't help. The flat ice surface was instantly covered with cracks, and then... I'll give you a small gift before leaving. Hanxing's mouth curled into a smile, his index finger a little. Regardless of Sengoku and others, Ace and others ordered them to smash the ice and drive towards the distance. Okay, Marshal Sengoku, I understand what happened today. Ace's face brightened. Okay dad, I really didn't see it, I just dropped my glasses. Sorry, Sengoku said with a look of apology on his face. The white crescent suddenly swelled and turned into a white full moon, the whole body was torn apart, and the spider web-like cracks spread around. There was a loud explosion. Countless ice chips flew upside down, and a bottom to the bottom ice cave appeared quietly. The corners of Sengoku's mouth twitched, not only Sengoku, but also other marine executives. Chapter 457. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. For a time, the screams like killing pigs sounded again, and this time it was even more tragic than the last time. The scorched skin, the pungent barbecue and the smell of meat resounded around. The whole person was like a savage who returned from Africa in the last world of Hanxing. Blackbeard's body was filled with black air, and the various symptoms disappeared in the blink of an eye. Climbing up from the ice, looking at Hanxing on the boat with an angry face, the corners of his mouth sullenly dragged his voice, cold. Star. Yes, this is my welcome gift. I hope to see you in the new world in the future. Hanxing smiled warmly, and this smile made Blackbeard look a little perverted. Turning his head to look at Sengoku and others not far away, Sengoku is destined to see you again. When we see you again, it's probably time for us to start a war. With a grin and a wave of his hand, the behemoth in front of him rose out of thin air again, until it formed a black spot and disappeared from everyone's sight. Lion Fruit's ability. Hanxing, how much power does this person have hidden? Sengoku frowned, his eyes flashing quickly. Then he walked to the center, and his body stood proudly and shouted, the war is over. Everyone pack up and return to naval headquarters. After speaking, regardless of Marine's reaction, he took the lead and walked towards Marineford. The war is over, but they Marine are defeated, the kind of disastrous defeat. Ace is rescued, the CP organization is wiped out, Whitebeard is not dead, Marine's reputation is ruined, and the sea will become more chaotic in the future. Even out of their Marine's control. All of this has to be considered and thought about by his marshal. There is also an explanation for the CP organization to the five elders. With the departure of Sengoku, this represents the complete end of the Battle of the Top. The difference from the original is that Ace didn't die, Whitebeard didn't die, Blackbeard didn't get the shock fruit ability and was beaten by Hanxing and Whitebeard. All of this, because of Hanxing, the original plot of the sea has been deviated from the track. Advertisement. This trajectory, in short, is developing in a good direction. The next day, the whole world was swiped by yesterday's top battle. Newspapers, portraits, homing pigeons. Every city and every village is discussing it. Especially the scene of Whitebeard hanging Akainu became the news that people all over the sea talked about. The second is that Hanxing saved Fire Fist Ace, and by the way, he killed all the members of the CP organization. One of these two things made people see the strength of Whitebeard. Although he was old, his strength was still strong, and Marine Admiral could hang and beat him at will. Solve the combined attack of Marshal Marine and Admiral in no time. The second one is Hanxing. If Whitebeard is still expected, then Hanxing's strength is beyond expectations. Not only did he destroy the world government's CP organization in one move, but he also conquered one of the four emperors, the Beast's pirates. Compared with the first one, the second one caused the whole world to turmoil. 4 emperors, that is the top force in the new world. For ordinary pirates, it is the ceiling on the sea, so he was subdued by a young man who had just left the sea. How can this not shock them and make them panic? At the same time, Hanxing's 5 billion Bailey reward, no one dares to discuss it, even if it is discussed, it is said that something deserves its name. After a few days, the end of the battle on the top did not cool down, but intensified. This gave Sengoku a lot of headaches, and had to let Marine control the fishing reels to get people out of the atmosphere of the battle on top. Advertisement. After all, the battle on top was a huge shame for Marine, and since it couldn't be covered, it had to be suppressed. After a month of uproar on the sea, finally the upsurge of the battle on the top gradually dissipated. But, as Sengoku expected, the end of the Battle of the Top not only did not stop the growing number of great pirates, but instead changed the second spring of the great pirates. Young guys from some villages went out to sea to become pirates, which made Marine's work exponentially increase several times, and at the same time, the riots at sea also increased sharply. Marine Sengoku's office, looking at the number of pirates in his hands soared this month. Sengoku had a headache. He knew that Ace had a relationship with Hanxing, and if he killed him, he would also execute Ace. Now he regrets it. Next to the staff officer Crane drinking tea, he knew the pain in Sengoku's heart, but knowing is one thing, solving it is another. Sengoku, a message was sent from Impel Down yesterday. Impel Down is almost full of prisoners. Staff officer Crane said a little unbearably. What? Impel Down is about to be closed. How is it possible? When it was built, Impel Down could close more than 10W people. Sengoku was shocked. Now you know that there's a surge in riots at sea, and Marine is catching those pirates fast. The strength of these pirates is low, basically because of the pirates who went out to sea in the Summit War, the reason why they couldn't be closed. It's because the first and second floors are already full, and their strength can't be locked down to the lower floors, so Magellan is here to report. Staff officer he felt a little helpless here. Then lock up in the branch first. Sengoku mused. Yes, but it's not a long-term thing, he said. We'll try to figure it out later. Any news from Hanxing? Since leaving naval headquarters, Hanxing and the others have been in Wano Kuni except to conquer the red-haired forces. They have not gone anywhere else. Keep an eye on him. I always feel like he's going to cause some terrifying trouble. I think we're getting old. It's time to step down. Haven't you already chosen someone? Advertisement. Staff officer Crane changed the subject. She couldn't see through Hanxing, and with Sengoku staring at him, she didn't want to make more comments. I feel it too. In 2 years, I'll clean up everything in Marine and find one of the 3 Akainu to inherit. Sengoku mused. Just make your own decisions. Then stick to it for 2 years. After 2 years, you can be released. The Crane staff pretended to be relaxed. In the resplendent hall, or stand a few old people appear here. These 5 people are the top leaders of the world government, and they are also the 5 most powerful people in the ocean. They are called 5 elders. Have the new batch of CP personnel come down. The old man with the sword said gloomily. It's coming soon, but it will take at least a year for it to be officially put into use, said the old man with a scar on his left face and a fluffy beard. 1 year. This Hanxing deserves to be killed, the old man with the mustache said with a murderous look. Now is not the time to talk about this. It is the right way to quickly put the CP organization into use. It's just a Hanxing. Don't care too much. There will be a chance to kill him in the future, said the sword-wielding old man again. Oh, it's easy to say. If you want to put it into use quickly, the selection criteria can only be lowered a little. In this case, the combat power of the entire CP organization will decline. The blonde-haired old man said. Slip down. First survive this difficult period, and then return to the original. The sword-wielding old man said again. Seconded. X3. Then it's decided. The blonde old man stood up and decided. Chapter 458. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Wano Kuni, Ghost Island. Hanxing sat on his own throne and looked at the cadres around him. With a smile on his face, how is the territory of red hair pirates being cleaned up? Most of it has been occupied by our pirate group, but BIGMOM seems to have found something, and 1/3 of the area was occupied by her. Jin got up and returned. Don't worry, how much she eats, she will vomit twice as much. Hanxing shook his head and smiled. Where's Wano Kuni? How about Chisao Jusha? Now the people of Wano Kuni have basically turned to us, and when they speak, they are not as worried as they used to be. Instead, they are grateful. Quinn stepped forward. After he finished speaking, he frowned, but the 9 heroes of the Scarlet Sky, it's still the same. Except Hanxing's boss used a trick to make Xiaoju, one of the 9 heroes of the Scarlet Heaven, as the village head. Everything else revolves around Kazuki in front of Hiyori. There's no intention to submit to us at all. However, judging from their attitude, they are much better than before. No hurry, there is time, as long as they don't make trouble. Hanxing waved his hand. What about other things? We have fully accepted Doflamingo's intelligence organization. Since Doflamingo's death, the heads of these organizations have been madly suppressed by other organizations. With our appearance, they have not hesitated to join us. Now we are in the forefront of the Underground World Intelligence Organization, and it has officially operated and started to make profits. He smiled and pondered. That's it, the factory. They are all full of people, and I heard that they are all 3 times the salary, and the work is very active. Peggy Wan said impatiently. Yes, how long does it take for redheads to tidy up? Advertisement. If you kill it, 1 month, according to Wano Kuni's management, it will take about 3 months. Jin groaned. 3 months, that's good, just as I remember 3 months is the start time of the BIGMOM tea party. It happened to send her back to the west after her tea party. Hanxing sneered. Where's the redhead? Do you know where he went? This man is a scourge. You can't keep him. I don't know. Since the battle with us, the trace of their pirate group has never been found, as if they disappeared out of thin air. Said with a smile. Find. No matter what you do, find him. Keeping this guy is always a scourge, and now he's been beaten head on by us, like Lion Majesty in the dark, always asking us for a bite when we're down. Hanxing's face changed. Knowing that the red hair should not have been taken away in the first place, the red hair and Luffy are similar. Hanxing thinks that both are children of luck. However, there are gains and losses, and it's not bad to get a red-haired sight. 3 months, 2 conditions. 1 is to try to trace the whereabouts of the red hair. The other is to try to manage the red hair site. Send troops for 3 months. Attack the BIGMOM pirates. Do you know? Understood, boss. Yi Xiao and others shouted loudly. Boss, there's something I feel compelled to say, Yamato said. What's up? We came to Wano Kuni yesterday with 2 fur tribesmen. The 2 of them went to find Kazuki Hiyori. Fur tribe. It should be one of the 9 heroes of Chisao, Cat Viper and Duke Nuerishi. It's them. I said how these 2 people are so familiar. Yamato was a little surprised. Okay, let's go, Yamato. Let's go find Kazuki Hiyori. Looking for her? What are you looking for her for? Yamato's wide eyes were suspicious. Go and see our number 1 beauty in Wano Kuni. Hanxing smiled lazily. Advertisement. Cut. Yamato rolled his eyes angrily. Kazuki Hiyori goes by the pseudonym Xiaozi, and is called the first beauty in Wano Kuni, and is also the first Ouran in Wano Kuni. In view of Xiaozi's special status, Hanxing asked Beast's pirates to buy the Ouran mansion for Xiaozi and give it to Xiaozi. The purpose is to facilitate monitoring of Xiaozi. After all, the strength of Chisao Jusha is still very good, and it is always a hidden trouble until he surrenders. An hour later, Hanxing and Yamato appeared together in the Flower City. Boss Hanxing, Boss Yamato, I am Baron, the chief guard stationed here. I don't know if there is anything that needs a little help. Baron said excitedly. Hello, take us to find the Oran Shaozi. Hanxing smiled slightly. Yes, your lord. After a while, under the leadership of Baron, the three came to a magnificent mansion with two big red lanterns hanging at the entrance of the mansion. My lord, this is it, Baron whispered. Knock on the door. Yes, blah blah blah. Who is it? A dissatisfied cry came from inside. Then the thick red door opened, and a figure appeared in front of Hanxing and the two. With green skin, frog-like appearance, long orange hair, and a hat, the overall look is still a bit cute. If you are confused by his cute appearance, you don't even know how he died. This person is one of the 9 heroes of the Scarlet Heaven, even among the 9 heroes of the Scarlet Heaven. The strength has at least 3 disaster levels, and in Wano Kuni, there are 2 quite a nickname, the most powerful man in Hengang Hisong. It's you, Hisong said with a dignified expression as his pupils shrank for a while in his green eyes. Advertisement. What's the matter with you coming here? As Hisong spoke, one hand had already reached out to the long knife around his waist. Don't be so nervous, if I really shoot, can you stop it? Hanxing smiled warmly. Hisong was silent, because what the person in front of him said was the truth. I'm here to talk to Shaozi, Hanxing said again. Then, come with me, Hisong hesitated and led Hanxing towards the inside. After all, there are 3 Qishao 9 heroes in the yard besides him. If Hanxing makes a move, the 4 of them will be lost, and they will be able to stop him. However, he believes that Hanxing will not do that kind of thing, and all this comes from a series of measures taken by Hanxing after defeating Kaido and taking office. Even he can clearly feel that the changes in people's lives in Wano Kuni are steadily improving. The yard is very big. After all, it used to be the place where Wano Kuni courtesans were trained. A few people, led by Hisong, walked towards the innermost part of the yard. The yard has a nice view, rockery, attic, small garden, and even a few large sakura trees. Under a sakura flower tree in the innermost, Kazuki Hiyori and others sat on a table and communicated in low voices. Miss, after learning the news that you are still alive, the dead dog and I will come back immediately. Cat Viper smoked the big chimney. Thank you 2 uncles for their love. I'm fine. I have been protected by Uncle Denjiro over the years, and I have lived a good life. Kazuki Hiyori whispered. Don't worry, miss. After we find the young master, we will find an opportunity to revolt in Wano Kuni and take back everything that belongs to the master. Duke Inuarashi said solemnly. No need. Kazuki Hiyori shook his head. When you came, you also saw that Wano Kuni is slowly recovering under the leadership of this new leader. The people's life is thriving, and everything is developing in a good direction. If you launch a rebellion, let's not say it is unsuccessful, and the people will be injured. Chapter 459. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Now Wano Kuni is finally developing for the better. I think everything is fine. No need to take revenge on Hanxing. Besides, Rihi said this for a while, and said solemnly, do you think that if all the 9 heroes of Qishao gather together, will they be Hanxing's opponents? You already know the information about the battle of the top. Do you think it's okay? Rebellion is just suicide. But, miss, just give Wano Kuni everything to Hanxing. Cat Viper was a little unwilling. Don't you know it clearly? This world is the world of the strong. Whoever is stronger can have everything. If you still recognize me, the eldest lady, don't mention this matter again. Shen. Alas, I got it, miss, Cat Viper said unwillingly. 2 uncles, I hope you 2 understand. I am doing this for your own good. Rihi sighed in his heart. At this moment, Hisong and Hanxing came to Kazuki Hiyori and others. Shaozi looked at the figure in front of her, with a hint of surprise and shock in her eyes, and got up quickly. Master Hanxing. I didn't know that you came here, but you are welcome. No, one of the reasons I came here was to hear that 2 fur tribesmen came over. I'm worried about any accidents here. Don't worry, Mr. Hanxing. They are my father's friends. Come and see how my life is going. Kazuki Hiyori smiled slightly. That's good. Hanxing swept away Cat Viper and Duke Inuarashi, then looked at Kazuki Hiyori and said, you know, Wano Kuni is now heading for a new path. But, there are still some places where bandits are rampant. That place is called the Head Mountain of Julie. The leader is Judianwan, and Ashura Boy, one of the original 9 heroes of Qishao. What do you mean? Kazuki Hiyori frowned. Advertisement. I hope you go there and persuade him to disband the thieves group. You must know that Wano Kuni is developing on a good road now. I don't want a thief group to exist, always going down the mountain to loot. Let the surrounding people worry and be afraid. If he doesn't obey your persuasion, then I can only resort to violence. This is also a way for me to give you Kazuki's face. Hanxing's tone was flat, but his voice was a little cold. Uncle Ashura, Hiyori murmured softly. Cat Viper and Duke Inuarashi have watched Hanxing tensely since Hanxing came over, always guarding against Hanxing's surprise attack. Are you going to do something to Ishura Duji? At this moment, Duke Inuarashi, who didn't speak very much. It wasn't me who wanted to do it, it was he who blocked the way of the Wano Kuni people. The Wano Kuni people couldn't wait for their lives to get better, but he often took thieves down the mountain to fight the autumn wind. Do you really think this new leader of mine has no temper? If it wasn't for him being one of your Qishao 9 heroes, Kazuki Oden's servant in the past, I would have sent Kaido to kill him. Hanxing said indifferently. I'm here today to tell Shaozi, if Shaozi can't persuade Judianwan to give up the bandit, after 3 days, his body will definitely be suspended in the surrounding village. I still have something to do. Let's go first. After Hanxing finished speaking, he took Yamato and walked outside regardless of the ugly faces of Cat Viper. On the bustling street, Hanxing walked ahead. Next to him, Yamato said with a puzzled face, don't you want to subdue them, Boss Hanxing? Why are you leaving? Subdue? How to subdue? You didn't see that after we entered. The other people looked at us vigilantly. Hanxing said angrily. Then, Ashura Boy, are we really going to kill him? If Kazuki Hiyori can't convince him, just kill him. The face has already been given, but he doesn't cherish it himself. Hanxing said coldly. ... Time is like running water. 2 months passed by in the blink of an eye. Hanxing was sitting by a river, holding a fishing rod in his hand, catching fish lazily beside him. Advertisement. In the past 2 months, after Shaozi subdued the Ashura Boy and brought him back to his own courtyard, Wano Kuni no longer had abandoned and entered a peaceful scene. Hanxing will fish here if he has something or nothing to cultivate his sentiments. After all, after the attack on the BIGMOM pirates is over, there will be no leisure time in the future. Boss Hanxing, something happened. Peggy Wan ran all the way to him and said solemnly. What's wrong? Hanxing didn't change his face, and continued to fish leisurely in the river. The original Marine Admiral Zephyr left Marine, and then formed his own neo-pirates to hunt pirates everywhere. Now that we have entered the new world, we will soon arrive at our site. Black Arm Zephyr. Hanxing frowned. He remembered that Zephyr left because Sengoku, in order to replenish Shichibukai's combat power, let Whitebeard II, the pirate who cut off Zephyr's arm and killed Zephyr's cadets, join the 7 warlords of the sea. Therefore Zephyr was deeply dissatisfied with Marine, so he left Marine and formed his own pirate group. And the purpose of his formation of the pirate group is to obtain an explosive rock with huge energy comparable to ancient weapon. Explosive rock, also known as Dana rock, produces a strong explosion as soon as it touches the air. There are 3 huge storage endpoints on the bottom of New World, and these 3 huge magma pools traverse the entire New World. As long as it is destroyed, the magma stored in it will spew out and burn the entire New World. Thinking of Zephyr's plan, Hanxing complained in his heart that he was a crazy guy who wanted to destroy the entire New World. Is there any change in the selection of Shichibukai? Peggy was stunned for a moment, and a trace of admiration flashed in his eyes. How do you know, Boss Hanxing? A prophet. Advertisement. Don't talk nonsense. Hurry up and say it. Oh, after the Battle of the Top, Marine felt that Shichibukai was underpowered and added 3 more. They are, Captain of the Heart Pirates, Trafalgar Law. A nameless newcomer who calls himself Whitebeard too. And 1 more, Sengoku took Blackbeard teach out of Shichibukai's position and added another one called Buggy the Clown, the original member of the Roger Pirates. Hawkeye, Empress, Big Bear, Moria, Buggy, Luo, Whitebeard too. These are the members of Shichibukai today. Hanxing was silent. These people only joined after 2 years. Maybe it was because he changed the Battle of the Top that made the later Buggy and others join Shichibukai earlier. Boss, what's the matter with you? Peggy Wan wondered. It's no wonder Zephyr left Marine to form a new pirate crew. Why, do you know who cut off Zephyr's arm? Who? Whitebeard too. More than 10 years ago, he just went to sea and wanted to make a name for himself, so he found the old Zephyr. In that battle, Whitebeard 2 not only cut off one of Zephyr's arms, but also killed the students of Zephyr's ship. Therefore, at that time, Whitebeard 2 became famous in the sea. It just disappeared, but I didn't expect it to reappear after more than 10 years. So that's how it is. I said that Zephyr's good Marine Admiral is inappropriate. It turns out that Marine recruited his great enemy into Shichibukai. Peggy was stunned. Chapter 460. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What a shit. This old Zephyr hates pirates even more because of his dissatisfaction with Marine. It's not an exaggeration to say it's crazy. This guy used to be Marine Admiral, and the Master has kept a lot of Marine secrets. Now that Marine has been sentenced, let's not talk about us. Even Marine himself will not let him go. Then, what do you mean, boss? Peggy Wan wondered. Don't worry about this matter. What should you do? I will go to Zephyr to see for myself. Hanxing's eyes flickered. He meows. Zephyr now judges Marine, Aokiji and Akainu for not fighting because of the position of the marshal. The track of history is completely deceived. Hanxing rubbed his numb head. It seems that after dealing with Zephyr's affairs, we should hurry up and deal with the BIGMOM pirates just in case. Can't wait. After sending Peggy Wan away, Hanxing disappeared in a flash. He planned to do it himself, and didn't want others to deal with it. Otherwise, if you let them know the secrets of the 3 magma pools in New World, I don't know if they will have any other thoughts. Naval Headquarters. Marine executives headed by Sengoku gathered in the conference room. In the empty conference room, the crowd was surging. Everyone sat in their seats, silent. The atmosphere was not only serious, but also a little depressing. I'm sure you all know about Zephyr. I won't explain more. Kizaru has gone to stop it, and many of you are his students. Speaking of this, Sengoku swept away the surrounding generals, with a hint of loneliness in his eyes. If you want to go, go all. Go and send him the last ride. Marshal Sengoku. Why, old Zephyr? No, mister. Even if you become a pirate, you don't need to kill him, right? Aokiji asked in confusion. Advertisement. If he really became a pirate, we naturally wouldn't kill him. But he may be crazy now, and his purpose is to destroy the entire New World. Not only the pirates of the New World, but also all the people of the New World. In this matter, I and Staff Crane have been informed that the news has been confirmed. That's why you're going to say it. How? How is it possible? Destroy the entire New World. Teacher Zephyr. How could he? Aokiji's eyes were full of shock. Can't be wrong. All right, the meeting is over. If any of you go, let's go with Aokiji. The whole body unknowingly fell down, and even some white hairs appeared on the dark hair unknowingly. Marshal Sengoku. Aokiji murmured. New World, on an island full of volcanoes. Zephyr with purple hair is here with his students. Mr. Z, it has been arranged. A crisp voice sounded around, and Aang walked in from outside. Go. The old and strong Zephyr laughed. Lead the crowd around and head out to the pirate ship outside the volcano. Not long after they left, the entire volcano erupted with soaring flames and magma, dyeing the surrounding sky extremely red. The sea fluctuated violently, like boiling, and huge waves rose out of thin air and swept all around. Ha 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 ha, the first one. There are 2 more. Just detonate the other 2. All the pirates in the whole New World will die. The world will become better again. Zephyr laughed wildly, making the surrounding Aang and the others were a little scared. Is this really the teacher they are familiar with? So much has changed. However, even if it changes, they will follow. Advertisement. High in the sky, Hanxing looked at Zephyr and the others below, frowning. He was considering whether to kill Zephyr here. He admires Zephyr in pirates, but Hanxing doesn't agree with his approach. The crazy idea of destroying the entire New World, I am afraid, has completely lost its sense. Is this the anger of an honest man? Alas, forget it. Let you live a few more days, until the 3rd lava pool Marine hasn't sent someone to deal with Zephyr, then don't blame him for being rude. While thinking about it, a golden light passed from below and appeared in the air of the Zephyr pirate ship. In the golden light, Kizaru appeared here. Kizaru, what are you doing here? Looking at Kizaru above, Zephyr snorted coldly. Mr. Zephyr, because of your private desire to destroy the New World, Marshal Sengoku has sent Marine to inform you. I hope you will change your ways and follow me to Naval Headquarters. No, your fate. Kizaru's wretched face was full of seriousness, and he didn't say anything later, but the result was self-evident. Humph, stop fooling the old man. If you're here to catch the old man to accompany you. If not, get out of here, don't waste Lousy's time. Zephyr yelled. Kizaru frowned. This was the first time he was scolded by someone pointing his nose at him since he became admiral. Although he was his former teacher, but, forget it, let him. With the character of Teacher Zephyr, it is estimated that. Good luck, Mr. Zephyr. Kizaru took a deep look at a few people on board, and his whole body radiated golden light and disappeared from everyone's sight. Humph, with a cold snort, Zephyr retracted his tense body. High in the sky, golden light filled the air, and Kizaru appeared in front of Hanxing. What are you doing here? Advertisement. What do you think? Hanxing said with a half smile. You're staring at Teacher Zephyr. Kizaru hesitated. That's right. If I say that old Sengoku guy is too, why do you have to force Zephyr to be like this? Now, a good honest person is being forced by you to be a lunatic who wants to destroy the New World. What do you know? Everything you should know, such as the 3 magma pools that traverse the New World. You, Kizaru pointed at Hanxing, the shock in his eyes hard to hide. The endpoint is one of the top secrets in Marine. Only Marine executives and even Admiral can know. How did Hanxing know this? Could it be that Hanxing or 3 Admiral or even Marine executives have Hanxing's undercover? Thinking of this, Kizaru's face instantly turned blue and flustered. No. This must be told to Marshal Sengoku. Thinking of this, regardless of Hanxing staying here, the golden light flashed and disappeared in front of Hanxing's eyes. Really, am I that scary? Shrugged indifferently, complained, and continued to follow Zephyr below. Time is like flowing water, and in the blink of an eye, a week passed away quietly. In a small town famous for its hot springs, Hanxing walked here leisurely, eating the specialties of the town while walking. A few days ago, after learning that the third endpoint was here, Hanxing has been here for the past few days, which is considered to be waiting on the sidelines. Anyway, Zephyr will come here to destroy the last one. In the past few days, Hanxing found some familiar figures here, such as those with sunglasses in front of them and blindfolds on their heads, and the camouflage was a complete failure. Yo, Aokiji, what are you doing here? Hanxing stepped forward, put a hand on Aokiji's shoulder, and said with a smile. Beside him, the corners of Aokiji's mouth twitched slightly. This bastard, how could he be here? Looking at the awkward smile in front of him, Aokiji roared wildly in his heart. Chapter 461. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. I'm here to travel, Aokiji said flatly. Tourism, Weasel, Momosuke and the others are all here to travel. Hanxing pointed to the Weasel and Momosuke who had failed in disguise not far away, and said with a half smile. Aokiji was silent, looking at Hanxing always thinking that Hanxing knew something. What are you doing here? Hot springs. I heard that the hot springs here are good, so I can just relax when I'm bored. Okay, I have nothing to do, so I can just come here to relax. Aokiji said angrily. Come on, if you were alone, I would believe it. But look, it's basically all of you Marines around here. Do you think I'm a fool? Hanxing glanced at the familiar faces around him and pouted. Since you know I won't say it, what else are you asking? Aokiji returned to a lazy look. Cut. When I don't know, didn't that guy Kizaru tell you? Hanxing said and dragged Aokiji to the snack bar next to him, ordered some specialties of the store, and ignored the surprised eyes of Weasel and others not far away. He dragged Aokiji to eat and talk. With such a familiarity, not only Aokiji is confused, but also Marine, who is dressed up as an ordinary person, is also a little confused. When did Aokiji Admiral and Hanxing really know each other? Maynard, who had just been patrolling, walked over to the Weasel and said softly, the news has been confirmed, Mr. Zephyr and others are coming here, and they will successfully arrive here in about 20 minutes. Advertisement. 20 minutes, Weasel whispered, a trace of sadness flashing in his eyes. Don't think about it so much, this was chosen by Mr. Zephyr himself, we can only watch it here. Momosuke said softly, her eyes turning red unconsciously. Women are sensual, not even Marine Vice Admiral. That's it, Aokiji Admiral and Big Blue Hanxing. How did the two of them sit together? Suddenly, Maynard looked at the two people in the distance, as if they had a friendly relationship, and his mind was full of question marks. Aokiji Admiral was pulled over by Hanxing. Momosuke was speechless when he said this. That, he's here, will it affect our plans? Maynard hesitated. Probably not, I think Aokiji Admiral is with him just to sniff Hanxing's tone. Weasel shook his head. At the stall, Hanxing ate the special grilled meat here and said, you Marines can too, send so many people to see off Zephyr. Aokiji's pupils shrank. You really know everything. Does it need to be said? This is the last of the 3 magma pools, wait for the rabbit. I will too, if you don't do it, I will do it. But, if you come, I will have nothing to do. Hanxing changed to eating meat while understating Marine's arrangement and speaking clearly. Well, I can't hide anything from you. As expected of our Marine's most feared enemy, Aokiji's languid color instantly turned serious. Whatever, maybe in the future, I will have a fight with you Marines. Hanxing said with a false sense of truth. There is a rough road, surrounded by dense Marine, headed by Kizaru in Yellow Cedar and his apprentice Zontaomaru. On the rough road ahead, Zephyr is now at war with the minion-like Marine. Advertisement. Momosuke, Weasel, Ghost Spider, T-Dolphin. Any Marine Vice Admiral who can be named is here. Really? Aokiji glanced at Hanxing, got up and walked to the Weasel, let those people wait at the volcano intersection. It's also for Mr. Zephyr, see you off. Yo, come on, it's time for you to go, Hanxing said lazily as he ate the skewers. Bins, Shuzo, be careful, these people look familiar to me, Ain reminded. Pat, as long as this volcano is destroyed, the pirates in the entire new world will be wiped out, and the sea will become peaceful. Zephyr said as he walked, his face extremely hideous. After a while, a pirate ship docked around the town. Zephyr led a group of students out of it, without even looking at the people around, and walked directly into the volcano. Marine, Shuzo said. 10 minutes later, on the coastline far away from this town, a pirate ship galloped towards here on the wind and waves. You guys follow along, and after you finish watching, come back to Marine with us. After Aokiji finished speaking, he took the generals behind him and walked forward. Familiar, hearing you say this, I thought I was the only one feeling this way. We have just become pirates, and there is only one familiar person. Bin said here, in his eyes a dignified one. Alas, let's go, Aokiji sighed. Can't you see it? Since Mr. Zephyr is going to destroy the entire new world, he is ready to die. All we can do now is to follow him and watch his final glorious ending. Shuzo said here, tears leaked out unwittingly. That's a weasel, Bin said suddenly, seeing a silhouette flashing by in a distant room. The roaring sound resounded throughout the island, making the surrounding area of the town instantly chaotic. The town relies on the nearby volcano, so it is famous for its hot spring, and the intersection of the volcano is at the top of the town. Advertisement. Phew. Amidst the chill, Aokiji quietly appeared in front of Ain and the others, find a place to watch. This was chosen by Mr. Zephyr himself. Don't interfere. No, if this is the case, there must be a Marine in ambush ahead, and I'm going to inform Teacher Zephyr. Ain's face changed, and he was about to run towards Zephyr. Shuzo, what do you mean? Looking at Shuzo's movements, Ain became impatient and his face flushed red. Can't you see it yet? Shuzo sighed. The weasel is here. That. Ain was horrified. These people. Why are they so familiar? A burst of footsteps walked out of the surrounding rooms. Ain and the others shrank their pupils for a while, their faces turned ashen, and the weapons in their hands fell to the ground unknowingly. But he was caught by Shuzo next to him. These people walked out without even looking at Ain, and walked in front of Aokiji. Mr. Zephyr has walked in. Let's go, Momosuke said with red eyes. Mr. Zephyr is the chief instructor of Marine, with apprentices all over Marine. We are familiar with the surrounding Marines, doesn't he know? Do you think he can't recognize the teacher? As he said that, he took out his weapon and aimed it at Aokiji. Bins and Shuzo were not slow, and looked at Aokiji with vigilance. The two casually chatted about their daily life. They looked like old friends they hadn't seen for more than 10 years, and the conversation was very enjoyable, causing the Marines lurking around to look at each other. Around Zantomaru were 4 pacifists who seemed to have been perfected in the near future, and these people are all made in the shape of Shichibukai bears. Ain struggled for a while, his face was slumped, and he dared not believe, you. You mean Teacher Zephyr? Admiral Aokiji. Ain's expression changed and he gritted his teeth. Beside him, Ain turned his head to look at the surrounding crowd, tourists, with a hint of doubt in his beautiful eyes. Chapter 462. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Fortunately, the surrounding marines appeared in time and left with the people, which stopped the noise of the town. On the rough road, Zephyr wielded a shredder, dressed in armament hockey, and his whole body was terrifying, like a Tyrannosaurus Rex from ancient times. With a punch, there was a crack on the ground, and the surrounding marines were blasted out by the aftermath. Boom, boom, the earth shook, Zephyr's muscles were knotted, his body was full of explosive power, like a meteor, and the terrifying energy shook the void. Kizaru pursed his lips, with a dignified look in his eyes, as expected of Teacher Zephyr, he is so old and still so powerful. During the speech, golden light filled the air, and a golden longsword appeared in his hand, facing the shock wave in front of him, and suddenly waved forward. Boom, the ground shook for a while, and a terrifying shock wave brought Kizaru along with his sword, and the powerful impact made him fly upside down, leaving a long trail on the ground. Can you imagine that Kizaru was blown away by Zephyr? Hanxing watched all this from a distance, the corners of his mouth twitched slightly, this is not serious. Without Kizaru's obstruction, Zephyr seemed to have opened up the unparalleled Lu Bu, with a big range attack, a punch and a big push of marine, and appeared in front of Zontaomaru in the blink of an eye. Zontaomaru's face was solemn, and he shouted to Zephyr in front of him, let it go. The big bear's mouth was wide open, and the terrifying energy gathered, turned into a golden laser, and blasted towards Zephyr. Ha 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 ha, thought these things could stop me. Zephyr laughed wildly. Face to face with the golden laser in front of the sky, instead of retreating, the whole body is filled with metallic light, and the giant fist created by Seastone suddenly blasts towards the front with a golden laser. Boom, boom, like a thunderous explosion, roaring. Advertisement. The golden laser that was enough to pierce a hill was directly smashed by Zephyr's black giant fist. The remaining power is undiminished, the energy spreads, and between the earth breaks, a long crack extends to the robot next to Zontaoan. Cut, it's so old, it's still so terrifying, as expected of a character from the same period as Marshal Sengoku and others. Dissatisfied, he pouted, feeling the power that made his heart palpitate not far away. Zontaomaru's figure flashed, the six-style shaving started, and disappeared instantly in place. The moment he disappeared, in the next second, the cracks on the ground spread to this point, and the monstrous energy erupted, like a volcanic eruption and a wave swept through, and several test objects around were instantly destroyed by this terrifying energy, and their bodies burst open. So far, there is no more marine in front of the final magma pool. Ha 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 ha, it's been so many years. It's still trash. With a loud roar, Zephyr stood proudly and walked towards the inside. As long as the magma pool inside is blown up, the sinful place like New World will not exist, and the whole world will become peaceful. Thinking of this, Zephyr's eyes lit up with fire, and his steps quickened. Suddenly, Zephyr's body froze forward, his eyes narrowed, and he smiled grimly. What? Are you going to stop me too, Aokiji? Who? Don't say that, Teacher Zephyr. This magma pool is related to the lives of everyone in the entire New World. Even if I can let you go, he won't let you go. Direction. You are, Blue Troll, Hanxing. Very good, there is a big pirate like you here. Today, I will let this old man send you to accompany Roger, the Pirate King. Looking down Aokiji's index finger, Zephyr was fierce and his eyes were wide. Blue Troll. Hearing Zephyr's shout, Hanxing's mouth twitched. What a bullshit title. He took a deep breath and suppressed his anger, saying, this is your marine's internal affairs, and has nothing to do with us pirates. I'm here to watch the fun. Humph, join in the fun, it's okay. When will Marine and pirates be able to collude? Sure enough, Marine is also dark. It's not wrong for the old man to quit Marine. Zephyr snorted coldly, as if remembering something, his face was as black as bottom of pot. Teacher Zephyr, give it up. If you give up, come back with us now. Marshal Sengoku may remember his old love and he will give up lightly. Aokiji couldn't bear it. Advertisement. Humph, stop talking nonsense. Aokiji, I haven't seen you for so many years. Let me see how much your strength has increased. Zephyr stretched out his seastone arm and smiled slyly. Mr. Zephyr, I advise you to listen to Aokiji's words. Otherwise, you will die here today. A cheap voice came, and as the golden light gathered, Kizaru appeared beside Aokiji. To Admiral, that old thing Sengoku really likes me. Zephyr smiled grimly. The figure flashed, the purple short hair fluttered, and it was not afraid to fly towards Aokiji and Kizaru. Ms. Zephyr, why? Aokiji sighed. The cold air filled the air, the hot ground began to freeze instantly, and the surrounding temperature dropped sharply. Aokiji lowered his arms and shouted, Ice Age. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like the surging waves on the sea, everything in front of the cold air is frozen, and in the blink of an eye, the hot magma world turns into a world of ice. Aokiji, haven't I overtaken you at high speed? Don't rely too much on Devil Fruit's ability. Zephyr sneered as he looked at the ability to change the world. The breath of the body erupted, the terrifying energy gathered in the whole body, and the black seastone fist slammed the ground below. Rumble boom, the earth trembled, and cracks spread like spider webs in all directions. At the same time, a terrifying shock wave, like ripples, swept the surroundings, fighting against Aokiji's cold air. The gust of wind brought by the shock wave blew Aokiji's cold air everywhere, and even rushed in the opposite direction. Well, as expected of Mr. Zephyr, how would you fight my Ice Age in this way? Aokiji didn't change his face. But this can't be done. He shook his head slightly. Looking at the shock wave that was getting closer and closer in front of him, Aokiji's voice jumped into the air, the cold air filled his hand, and a spear made of ice crystal appeared in his hand. Advertisement. Hit it hard where Zephyr is. Call out. The ice crystal spear, like a stream of white light, stabbed into the ground beside Zephyr before Zephyr came back to his senses. Click, click, with the spear as the center, the cold air filled the air, and the surrounding earth began to freeze again, and Zephyr was the first to bear the brunt. Oh, did it work? I do not know when I appeared in Kizaru in midair, looking at an ice sculpture below, surprised. Afterwards, the body was filled with golden light, dazzling, like a golden Buddha descended to earth, saving all beings. 8 feet of Chonguyu, there is a loud shout of restoration in the golden light. Hum, hum, the golden laser light balls, densely packed with Kizaru's roar, fell towards Zephyr like raindrops. Click, click, just then, a crack appeared on Zephyr's ice sculpture, and I'm afraid it won't be long before it comes out. What a pity, it's too late, the dense laser light balls have fallen on the ground, and the laser light balls passed directly through Zephyr's body. In the blink of an eye, the ice sculpture in front of him was smashed to pieces, and Zephyr was shot into a sieve by the 8-foot Chongu Jade. Not even a last word, the dead can't die again. Chapter 463. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. So far, the whole new world has been disturbed, and the old Marine Admiral, Marine Instructor, Zephyr died. Looking at Zephyr, who was completely devoid of life features, Hanxing shook his head and sighed. It can be said that all of Zephyr's actions were caused by Sengoku. Or the world government 5 elders, if they hadn't recruited Zephyr's nemesis Whitebeard II into the 7 warlords of the sea, they wouldn't have caused Zephyr to be dissatisfied with Marine and leave Marine. In the final analysis, it was the 5 elders who thought that Zephyr was too old and of little use, and was not as valuable as a powerful pirate like Whitebeard II. It's a pity they didn't know that Zephyr retired as Marine instructor and trained many elites for Marine. He said without hesitation that at least 80% of Marine's generals were trained by Zephyr, and regarded Zephyr as a teacher. Although Zephyr is only an instructor, his influence is not inferior to that of Marine Sengoku and others. Zephyr's death not only caused a huge blow to Marine's morale, but also a huge blow to these Marine generals. Maybe the 5 elders thought about it, but, so what, as the top group of existences in the sea, a Zephyr, a half-dead man, is not worth their brains to think about. Seeing Zephyr's death with his own eyes, and seeing the tears and sadness of Marine around him, Hanxing shook his head and disappeared in a flash. Zephyr is dead, and there are only 3 Garp left in Marine's older generation. If he guesses correctly, Sengoku may retire early. Aokiji and Akainu's martial battle may also break out early, but it's none of his business. What he has to work hard now is to rectify the entire New World, one of the other 4 emperors, Big Mom. The next day, the sea was as calm as ever, and Zephyr's death was not widely reported by Marine. Advertisement. Thinking about it, Zephyr is a stain on Marine, and another point is that reporting Zephyr's death will cause Marine to cause a panic in the ground. With Sengoku's IQ, it is impossible to make such a small mistake. The golden crow rises in the east and falls in the west, the dull time always passes quickly, and half a month passes quietly. On Ghost Island, in the spacious hall, Hanxing held the invitation letter in his hand, and next to him were the high-level officials. When was this invitation given? Yesterday. The eldest son of the BIGMOM pirates, Perospero, sent it over himself. T said crisply. Yesterday. Tea party. It's finally here. He let out a long sigh. Hanxing continued. Is everything ready? Boss, everything is ready. Even the red-haired sight has been dealt with. Just waiting for your order. Jin said in a deep voice. This crusade against the BIGMOM pirates, we can't go all over. There needs to be one person at the back. Smile. Kaido, Redfield. Who of the 3 of you stay here? Hanxing turned his head and said to the 3 of them. I have an old relationship with Linlin. I'll stay here, Kaido said with twinkling eyes. Hanxing gave Kaido a surprised look and nodded. Okay. Everything is ready. After half a month, we will take the BIGMOM pirates' territory into our hands. Remember to wait for the tea party to start. Just now, the red-haired hidden figure appeared in the area under our jurisdiction and told us news. I think it is very important, so I will come over and let you know. Perospero said quickly. You can see all kinds of races on the island. Not only there is no discrimination, but chaos but peaceful coexistence, which is enough to show the cleverness of Charlotte Linlin's jurisdiction. Advertisement. Early in the morning 7 days later, Hanxing finished washing up, appeared in the hall, looked at Pettywan and Bullet who were eager to try, and shook his head. The fountains inside, the houses, everything is safe to eat. Even the rain in the sky is sweet. This island is no ordinary magic. If Hanxing was here, he would definitely be surprised. Who gave the courage to speak so eloquently? Is Liang Jinru. Then if we attack the Charlotte Linlin area, aren't you very dangerous, boss? Yamato shook his head, his handsome face a little worried. Well, you should understand, Perospero, what are the consequences of disturbing me when I'm happy? If there is no very important matter, even if you are my eldest son, you will not be forgiven. Let's see if he will come to my tea party first. If he doesn't come, he will directly put all areas of Cake Island under martial law and enter a fighting state. Let Katakuri handle this matter. Charlotte Linlin sat on the throne with a look of joy, her bloated body swayed back and forth, as if she was dancing. As the Charlotte Linlin tea party draws near, the bland new world gets lively again. It is good, I know, said Perospero, trotting away. In the dark world, all kinds of people with heads and faces are running towards Cake Island. Only in this way can our losses be minimized when they are at their best. Don't worry, it's just a BIGMOM pirate group. In this world, as long as I don't want to die, no one can kill me. After Hanxing finished speaking, the whole person had already left the hall, leaving only a back. Charlotte Linlin said gloomily when she was disturbed. Even the disappearing pirates took this opportunity to become active. Be sure to take Charlotte Linlin's turf in the shortest possible time. Advertisement. Redhead, a street rat now being chased by Hanxing. Charlotte Linlin said, but the anger had vanished from her face. Everyone understands what Captain Hanxing said. The battle plan has been made a few days ago. Then let's go separately. With the speed of our pirate ship, it will not take long to reach the BIGMOM ruled area. He smiled and pondered. Road. Tell me, what did the redhead pretend to do? What does mom mean? Got it, boss. ... Mom, someone just sent a message to our pirates. The eldest son, Perospero, came dignified. Purple Eyes Thunder Emperor Pirates. Hanxing. Charlotte Linlin muttered, her face rarely showing a dignified expression. Hanxing, I hope the 2 of us can get along peacefully. Otherwise, don't blame the old lady. She is not that waste of Kaido. Charlotte Linlin whispered softly in the empty hall. BIGMOM Pirates. He said that he wanted us to be careful of the Purple Eyed Thunder Emperor Pirates. Hanxing's plans are very big, far from being as simple as his 4 emperors area. He suspects that when our tea party starts, the Purple Eyed Thunder Emperor Pirates will attack. We pirates, Perospero repeated. At this time, the light in the dark castle filled with light, like day. ... The base camp of the BIGMOM pirates is on Cake Island. The whole island is like a cake, and even the various buildings on the island are supported by cakes or other desserts. I'll go to Charlotte Linlin's tea party. You can watch the time. When you feel that the tea party starts, you can directly attack Charlotte Linlin's area. Although the red hair is no longer the name of the 4 emperors, but just because of her former status as the old 4 emperors, she can't tolerate her being careless. Chapter 464. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. At this time, on the Cake Island, people came and went, and all kinds of people dressed in bright clothes and exuding the atmosphere of the high-ranking people came from outside and walked towards the Cake Castle. As the host of this time, not far from the castle, the eldest son Perospero specially received these important guests. The BIGMOM pirate group is a pirate group formed by a family member model and adopted the method of marriage to win over various big figures. Therefore, the relationship between the BIGMOM pirates is complex and uneven, but the network of relationships can cover the entire sea. In terms of relationships among the 4 emperors, the BIGMOM pirates are the first. The relationship network operated by BIGMOM basically belongs to the underground world, such as arms tycoons, human trafficking tycoons. There is no such thing as a king, which is normal. After all, BIGMOM belongs to the pirate group. Some countries in the sea do not like to deal with pirates. After all, pirates are the source of troubles in their countries. Perospero actually asked you to come here as a welcome guest. Linlin takes this tea party very seriously. Morgans came from a distance with a camera. Of course, every tea party is mother's happiest time, and she must be satisfied. Sparrow said with a smile, curling his tongue. These scenery are not bad. Every time I come here, the scenery here is different each time, but each time the scenery is extremely beautiful and pleasing to the eye. Exceeded the prize. Are you going in now, or are you waiting later? Are all my old friends here? No, you were the first to arrive. Then just wait and see Linlin with them later, just right now for me to take pictures of these beautiful views here. While the two were talking, two more gorgeously dressed figures came over. One was slim, wearing an orange dress and a felt hat, revealing short blonde hair underneath. She was a rare beauty with a slender identity. Advertisement. A tall man with hair like the sideburns of a lion, with blindfolds on his eyes and a scythe in his hand. The second of the 6 kings of the underground world. Queen of the Pleasure District Stussy. Funeral Home Giants, Dracula, Pike Luo. Stussy, Pike Luo, you two are here. Seeing the two old friends, Morgans was no longer in the mood to take pictures and greeted them happily. Oh, Morgans, you are early. The 3 of them are old acquaintances, and they chatted with the 4 of Sparrow in just a moment, and the atmosphere was extremely happy. Not long after, the other 3 kings of the 6 underground kings also came over. Warehouseman Giant, Stealth Master Gibson, Sea King, Umit. The King of Lone Sharks, Lucifer Lufield. The 6 people standing together naturally attracted the attention of most people. After a few conversations with each other, they walked towards the castle palace under the leadership of Sparrow. On Cake Island, Hanxing looked at all the magic in front of him and sighed again and again. At that time, when I saw Luffy and others eating and drinking on the island, I sighed that certain Tien's brain hole was not ordinary. Now that I have really arrived here, except for the novelty and accident, there are no other feelings, perhaps because of the experience. By the time we stop and go and arrive at Cake Castle, Charlotte Linlin's tea party is almost starting. You are finally here. At the entrance of the castle, Sparrow looked at the figure in front of him and was speechless. According to the news, this guy has already arrived at the Cake Island, but he just looks around the island like a child, and touches it, until now, when the tea party is about to start. Advertisement. Really no one. People who don't know really think Hanxing is just an ordinary person. Ah, I'm sorry, it's my first time here, and I can't help it. Hanxing smiled slightly. It doesn't matter, you can come to give us the pirate group and the best face for mother. Please, the tea party is about to start, Sparrow said respectfully. Trouble. Stepping into the hall, Hanxing directly found a place to sit down. He didn't want to cause a stir from others. After all, the sensation that will be caused will not be ordinary, and it may even sink the Cake Island. He thought so, but how could others do what Hanxing wanted? Hanxing is New World 4 emperors. No, one of the 3 emperors. Are defeat the strong and defeat the red hair pirates, chase the red hair all over the world, like a mouse crossing the street. In today's New World, if the 3 emperors are the most powerful, of course Hanxing. To put it badly, who among the 3 emperors can unify the New World is none other than Hanxing. After these people knew about Hanxing's deeds, they always wanted to drag the relationship and flatter Hanxing, but unfortunately, Hanxing lived in his Wano Kuni, and the area was not open to anyone. If you want to have a good relationship, you can't, and now you have finally met, so naturally you have to fawn. Therefore, after Hanxing found a hidden corner and sat down, some people who were always paying attention to Hanxing's movements started to chat with Hanxing with their wine glasses. For a time, Hanxing immediately became the focus of attention on the field. Who is that guy, so thin and welcome? One of the 4 desert stars, a beautiful woman with long legs, Smoothie frowned. Hanxing, captain of the Purple-Eyed Thunder Emperor Pirates. Dafu walked up and said solemnly. It's him. How dare he come? That arrangement made by brother Katakuri. We don't have to worry about it, we just need to be optimistic about him. Dafu shook his head. Advertisement. In the center, Hanxing, who was surrounded by the crowd, was a little impatient and made excuses to leave at will. Seemingly seeing Hanxing's impatience, after Hanxing left, he never followed. They are all high-ranking people, often dealing with people, and their ability to observe words and expressions is still very accurate. Without everyone's concern, Hanxing wandered here alone. Looking at the crowd chatting around, Hanxing shook his head and smiled. After all, the tea party was formed by BIGMOM in order to win over its own organization and exchange feelings. It's not much different from the celebrity gatherings of the last world. It's really welcome, a voice called from behind Hanxing. Hanxing turned his head, a little surprised. Do you still have the beard pirates coming to attend this kind of party? No way. After all, it's one of the 4 emperors, even if the relationship isn't very good, Dad sent me here to help. Margao said helplessly while holding the wine glass. Looking at your reluctant appearance, why did you lose in guessing? Hanxing teased. How do you know who we guessed who came? Marco snorted, his eyes twitched like a ghost, and the corners of Hanxing's mouth twitched, I guess. Margot, you were amazing. After a while, he choked out such a sentence. But, you really surprised me. What accident? Hanxing wondered. I thought that your pirate group would send a person as a representative just like Dad. I didn't expect you, the captain, to come here in person. It's enough to give BIGMOM face. No way, they have big things to do. Only I, the captain, attract attention. Chapter 465. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Big deal. Margot immediately caught 2 words in Hanxing's words. With a move in my heart, this guy won't be making any big moves again. Although Hanxing rescued Ace, the relationship between the 2 pirates is considered friendly, but it's not yet a family. Especially Hanxing conquered the Beast's pirates and defeated the Red Hair pirates, the seemingly harmless but ambitious guy, who knows who will attack their pirates next time. A major event directly makes Margau's brain melon seeds spin quickly, brain supplementation. Looking at Margau's sluggish picture, Hanxing shook his head and smiled. This guy is really. Everyone, welcome to Mom's tea party. On the red carpet of the palace, the eldest son Peros Puro, holding the microphone Pepe and talking, obviously has hosted it not once or twice, and his voice has successfully attracted everyone's attention. Finally, I announce, the tea party officially begins. After the tea party starts, the next step is the treasure presentation, which is invisible and people who have participated have become accustomed to it. Linlin, happy tea party. This is my present to you. Stussy stepped forward, holding a box in her hand and handing it to Charlotte Linlin. Well, it's my favorite treasure chest. Charlotte Linlin was disgusted with heavy makeup. As Stussy opened the session, other people sent their own gifts one after another. If you don't give it, it's good. Next time you won't use it, and the whole family will be wiped out by the BIGMOM pirates. Advertisement. This is the way BIGMOM pirates do things. After a while, everyone on the field offered their gifts, only Margot and Hanxing remained. Although the 2 were standing in a corner, their every move was being watched. Therefore, after the gifts were delivered, everyone on the field turned their attention to 2 people. One of them was from the 4 Emperors Whitebeard pirates, and the other was the blue troll Hanxing, who was in the limelight and even overwhelmed Whitebeard. Some people even whispered, only Mr. Margao and Mr. Hanxing are left. I'm really looking forward to it. Lin Lin's face is really big. The captain of the first team of the Whitebeard Pirates and the captain of the Purple-Eyed Thunder Emperor Pirates came over in person. As expected of the 4 emperors. What kind of treasure do you think the 2 adults will give you? It must be an unusual baby, 4 emperors. It's not something we can compare to. The crowd around you said something. I guessed every word, and when I talked about this, the envy in my eyes was undisguised. At this time, Marco and Hanxing are not too much looking forward to. Marco is nothing. He is already used to it. Hanxing was a little uncomfortable, and if it wasn't for the surprise of Charlotte Linlin, he wouldn't be attending this kind of banquet. I go first, said hello to Hanxing, walked directly to Charlotte Linlin, took out a palm-sized box in his hand, and said plainly, this is what Dad asked me to give to you. Well, Whitebeard, it's a familiar old friend. Thank him for me. Charlotte Linlin didn't look as happy as before, and didn't open the gift in public, but put it aside and threw it at will. Advertisement. Others were a little skeptical, but Perospero, son of Charlotte Linlin, knew it. Since my mother held a tea party, the Whitebeard Pirates will send people to participate every time they will eat and drink here, and give gifts or anything. But this gift, either a thumb like iron body, or dyed gold, or a fingernail like diamond. Last time, it was more direct. There was a piece of broken stone in it to make up for it. The people of the Whitebeard Pirates, Perospero can see through it, they came here to eat and drink. Therefore, after several incidents, their pirate group simply did not send them invitations to the tea party. But that's good. I remember one time I didn't send an invitation to the Whitebeard Pirates for a tea party, and Whitebeard came to the door directly and got into a fight with my mother. From then on, they knew that the Whitebeard Pirates were all rogues, and after serving delicious food, they had to pack some before leaving, saying that it was for Dad to try it, and he couldn't shake it off with a dog skin plaster. Not only is Perospero disgusting, but the whole BIGMOM pirate group is disgusting. Marco didn't care. He turned around and returned to his original position. At this time, everyone's eyes were on Hanxing, who was not far away, and even BIGMOM's eyes showed a trace of excitement. Hanxing smiled indifferently, walked towards BIGMOM, turned his head and glanced around, and said, the gift I sent is a bit big. It may be a little later. I hope you wait a moment. Big gift. Charlotte Linlin's eyes lit up, her red lips hoarse, and she cheered, no problem. No problem. I like the big treasure chest the most. Saying that, he even straightened up his bloated body and started to jump up and down. Seeing this, Hormies next to him also jumped up with Charlotte Linlin. A bloated fat woman and a couple of biscuits, teapots, and other Hormies dancers. The scene was as ugly as it was ugly. The corners of Hanxing's mouth trembled as he saw it, but the people beside him were relishing the talk, and words of praise were blurted out one after another. Advertisement. A few minutes later, the sound of panicked footsteps came from a distance, and a figure ran towards BIGMOM with a face full of horror. Mom, no, something big. Charlotte Linlin's third son, Owen, panted. Suddenly looking at Hanxing next to him, his eyes were extremely shocked, his index finger stretched out. You. How come you are here? Since BIGMOM heard the red-haired letter, he directly handed this matter to Katakuri. Katakuri ordered a few people who have been in charge of the defense of the area around the world, and these people Owen was among them. And everything at the tea party was handled by Perospero, so Owen didn't know that Hanxing would come here. Owen, you have to know what day it is. If you don't give Mom a good explanation today, you will be punished even if you were my son. The dancing mood was disturbed, Charlotte Linlin said gloomily. Owen shuddered, swallowed, and said solemnly, Mom, something has happened. Someone has attacked our region of the world, and the attack is very violent. When I came, 1/3 of our territory in the 10,000 Kingdoms region had been lost, and even Brother Katakuri had been defeated. At present we can only passively defend. As soon as Owen's voice fell, the people talking in the surrounding hall instantly became silent, and the needle drop could be heard. With shock and horror in their eyes, they all wondered who would dare to attack the nations at this time. The 4 emperors' battle, no matter what it is the top news in this world. Morgans was so excited that a figure appeared in front of Owen, holding a camera to record everything in front of him. This news is not ordinary, and it will definitely sell for a good price tomorrow. Chapter 466. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Margot gave Hanxing a thoughtful look. His heart was extremely solemn. This guy, his ambitions are not ordinary. This should be the big gift, he said. Well, Owen, tell me, who dares to invade our territory? Charlotte Linlin's eyes were red, her cold voice made people shudder, and her tyrannical aura emanated from her body, which instantly enveloped the entire castle like a tide. The temperature began to drop sharply, and the violent killing intent seemed to be real, and some ordinary people on the field were shivering by the impact of these murderous intent, like a lonely boat in the sea. Even some weak ones couldn't bear this murderous aura and passed out. Magellan's long knife came out of her hand and appeared in Charlotte Linlin's hands. Prometheus and Thundercloud Zeus turned into violent flames and thunders by the way, surrounding Charlotte Linlin. In an instant, the atmosphere of the castle with the wind and drizzle turned into a scorching winter sun. Too strong, too strong. Is this Linlin's strength? On the field, Owen's pressure increased greatly, as if being swept away by a violent storm. He glanced at Hanxing and said with anger, Mom. He was the one who attacked our pirates. Owen pointed at Hanxing and said loudly, It's Hanxing. Purple-eyed Thunder Emperor Pirates. I saw with my own eyes that swordsman named Yi Xiao defeated Brother Katakuri in the pirate group. There are also the cadres of the original Beasts Pirates, the Epidemic, the Fire, the 5 Sons of the Bali. Except for Kaido, who was nowhere to be seen, the other cadres are basically present. Especially the Red Earl, Redfield. This person's strength is terrifying, and all the soldiers who pass by will be sucked up by his bats. More than half of our Myriad Kingdoms region was attacked by him. Owen said, with a trace of hatred on his face, looking at Hanxing and wishing to kill Hanxing directly. Unfortunately, when he thought of Hanxing's strength, he still gave up the idea. Advertisement. Well, don't you give me an explanation. Charlotte Linlin turned her head, her breath rising to a new level. If the eruption just now was unconscious like a tidal wave, this time it was intentional, as fierce as a volcano. Thump, thump, one. In the blink of an eye, half the guests in the castle all passed out under this monstrous scent from Charlotte Linlin. And Hanxing, who was at the center of this storm, had nothing at all, like a reef in the sea, with a calm expression on his face. Explain. What explanation? Didn't I tell you? This is a gift for you. Hanxing smiled, a gentle smile. Undeclared war on my universal region is a gift to me. Very good, very good. The old lady thought that the Whitebeard pirates and the others were cheating, and the stone gifts they sent every year were shameless enough, but I didn't expect to encounter an even more shameless one today. When Charlotte Linlin finished speaking, the corner of Margau's mouth twitched not far away. He was talking about Hanxing attacking your pirates and saying what the Whitebeard pirates were doing. Feeling the strange eyes of some people, Margau's face was extremely ugly. He knew that Hanxing would make such a big battle, and he wouldn't come here if he was killed. All right, so much nonsense. Fight if you want. What are you doing with so many BBs? Hanxing waved his hand impatiently. Fight for death. Charlotte Linlin roared hoarsely, like a goblin roaring. At the same time, the cadres of the BIGMOM pirates are still sorting out the crowd and leaving this place of right and wrong as soon as possible. Reaching out and grabbing, Thundercloud Zeus covered Charlotte Linlin's arm with thunder. Charlotte Linlin raised a huge iron fist, with violent energy, punched Hanxing in front of him. Hanxing's expression did not change, his fist swept up with great force, and he slammed up. Boom, a dull sound resounded around the two. Cobweb-like cracks suddenly appeared on the flat ground and spread wildly around at an extremely fast speed. Hanxing's figure didn't move like a mountain, but Charlotte Linlin's body flew upside down like a balloon. Advertisement. He slammed into the wall of the castle behind him, and the hard wall suddenly dented. Owen, who was evacuating people not far away, saw this, and the shock in his eyes could not be concealed. How is it possible? The mother, who was famous for her strength, would be kicked out, which completely subverted Owen's cognition. Mother, I must kill you, I must. The sword glow raged, the sword energy was integrated, and a purple crescent sword energy shot out from the long sword. The most bizarre thing is that after the purple sword chi burst out, the lightning and flame of the long knife automatically merged into the purple sword chi. The flames filled the air, the thunder light was raging, and the cold light of the long knife was added. The power of the three was far from being as simple as 1 plus 2, at least it was multiplied. After a while, the three images of sword energy, flame, and thunder disappeared, leaving only a long incision outside the blue skeleton. This Cake Island is not in vain, this news will definitely be like a battle on the top, and it will dominate the list for a month without dissipating. Half of the flames filled the air, and half of the thunder was raging. The two were clearly shrouded in purple sword energy, galloping towards Hanxing. Raise the long blade of thunder and fire in your hand and wave it fiercely at Hanxing. Thunder roared, flames erupted, and the sword chi exploded in an instant after colliding with Hanxing Susano. The sharp sword chi not only carried hot flames, but also violent thunder and lightning, making its power more than doubled suddenly. Death to my mother. Well, is this the trick you're proud of? Look at the old lady, I'll split it. Charlotte Linlin gave a wicked smile. And today, Charlotte Linlin actually fell below in the head-on collision. Not only Owen was stunned, but Morgans who knew Charlotte Linlin's information was also stunned. Hiss. Charlotte Linlin was born in a giant clan, and her natural strength is very strong. At the age of 3, she destroyed the giant clan village and killed the giant clan elders. Advertisement. I am afraid that in a longer time, Hanxing Susa will be smashed by BIGMOM's sword energy. Susano. Squeak, squeak, crackle, crackle, laugh. On the other hand, Hanxing quietly wrapped his arms around his chest, looking at the scene in front of him, as if he was watching a clown. Charlotte Linlin smashed the wall behind her with a palm, and walked to Hanxing step by step, her eyes turned into flames, and the Magellan long knife automatically flew into her hand. With a roar, Charlotte Linlin roared hoarsely. Death to my mother, Charlotte Linlin roared. At the same time, the thundercloud Zeus in the sky also plunged into the long sword of flames. When, holding Magellan in hand, Prometheus automatically merges into Magellan's long knife, which is extremely sharp, like a mirror's long knife, which instantly ignites a flaming flame, and turns into a flaming long knife in the blink of an eye. Boom. Known as the steel balloon, her strength is terrifying. In terms of strength alone, even Whitebeard is no match for her. A metal crash sounded. The dark blue skeleton appeared in front of Hanxing at some point. Taking a deep breath, Morgans came back. Not only was there no panic in his eyes, but he was extremely excited. A sudden wave at Hanxing. The flaming long knife was full of hot flames, like a fire-breathing dragon, burning air, and appeared in front of Hanxing. Chapter 467. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. It's a pity that there is no if in this world. With a thought, the huge crack in front of him began to recover at a speed visible to the naked eye, and disappeared in the blink of an eye. At the same time, he secretly said in his heart, as expected of BIGMOM, one of the 4 emperors, I am afraid that this level of kendo has a great swordsman. Blocked. Mom's attack can't be blocked, Owen said in disbelief. This guy, it's scary, as expected of an existence that can defeat Kaido. Smoothie next to him said solemnly. Master Smoothie, do we want to help? Persian Ma said cautiously. No need, Mom doesn't like us to intervene in matters, so let's hurry up and transport the personnel of Cake Island away. This is the beginning, it won't be long before the whole Cake Island will become a battlefield for the two of them. Smoothie shook his head, and then said solemnly. Yes, is it that terrible? Absolutely, don't forget how the title Blue Troll came about. Moving mountains and moving mountains. Persian Ma swallowed, I'll do it now. After speaking, he left in a hurry. Click, click, in the next moment when Persian Moss leaves. The ground, city walls, and all the buildings around the battlefield where Hanxing and Charlotte Linlin were located were unconsciously cracked. Such as Wang Yang, the sea, the eruption of the volcano, the violent and frightening momentum suddenly erupted from Charlotte Linlin. Compared with the previous two, this time the breath is more familiar to people, that is conquerors. The red aura was extremely turbulent, like rolling waves, sweeping the entire Cake Castle, covering Hanxing's whole person. Charlotte Linlin's gloomy voice echoed around. Well, except for Kaido, you were the first person to resist my Thunder Fire Sword Chi attack intact. Advertisement. Then am I honored. Feeling the heavy majesty around him, Hanxing twitched his mouth and sneered. A wave of conquerors that was no different than Charlotte Linlin's rose into the air, spreading wildly around Hanxing. The golden conquerors seemed to be substantial, domineering, and majestic, which made the brows of Smoji and others not far away frown. There's something about Hanxing's conquerors' haki that makes them adored. You must know that she is one of the 4 generals and one of the 4 most powerful members of the pirate group. She has this feeling, and other members can imagine. Let's get out of here too. Cake Castle will be gone in no time. After speaking for a while, Smoothie looked at Parospeed next to him. Brother Parosparrow, you can make up your mind here. I will lead some people to help Brother Katakuri and the others. Yes, be careful. You try to delay the time. When Mom defeats Hanxing and catches Hanxing, the crisis of our pirate group will be solved. Parosparrow said solemnly. Smoothie nodded, turned and left, his heart sinking. Defeat Hanxing. Big Brother Paros is probably thinking too much. Hanxing can defeat Kaido of the Beasts, one of the original 4 emperors, and also make all the beasts surrender. This strength is unquestionable. I am afraid that my mother is not an opponent. This time it is possible that one of their pirates will follow in the footsteps of Red Hair. Brother Katakuri, I hope you can hold on. Red like blood, gloomy and icy. Golden haki, domineering, majestic. The 2 colors of gold and red are distinct, dyeing the whole Cake Castle into 2 worlds. Crackle, crackle, dark red thunder and lightning meander, appearing in the center of the 2. Boom, suddenly, a huge roar sounded. The roof above the 2 of them couldn't withstand the impact of the 2 conquerors, and it exploded directly, exposing the sunlight of Hexen outside. At the same time, 2 golden and red beams of light rose into the sky, mixed with looming dark red thunder and lightning. Advertisement. The officials of the BIGMOM pirates who were evacuating the crowd not far away had their faces stagnant. So scary. That conqueror is as good as mommy. Hurry up, evacuate the crowd. On the field, the dark red electric snake roams, and every time it blinks, the position of the electric snake will move forward by 1 point, and 1 point further away from BIGMOM. Squeeze. Perfect squeeze. From the initial 1 meter radius to the current 3 meter radius, until the ever-expanding power. I'm afraid it won't be long before the entire conquerors of Cake Castle will become Hanxings. Wow, you're the second one to surpass me at Conqueror's Hockey, except for the red hair. As expected of driving the red hair pirates like a cross-street rat. With her red lips pouring out, Charlotte Linlin's figure moved, and in the next instant, she disappeared from Hanxing's sight. This body is not proportional to the speed. Cow. Hanxing twisted his body, and the dark blue skeleton slammed into a place with a punch. Boom. The hard wall in front of it exploded directly, causing the entire Cake Castle to shake for a while, and it seemed that some could not bear it, and it was crumbling. Really flexible, Hanxing murmured, feeling Charlotte Linlin's body magnetic field in his mind. Death to the old lady. With a hoarse howl, Hanxing's vision dimmed, and a fat figure suddenly appeared in front of him. The huge fist filled with thunder, and the terrifying energy made the air freeze. Boom. A burst of dullness accompanied by thunder raging on the dark blue skeleton. Advertisement. The monstrous strength made Hanxing Susano fly upside down, and the terrifying thunder roamed around. Double the power. Boom, boom. Long trailing marks sounded along with the sound of the city wall shattering. Hanxing dressed in Susa, and a figure appeared outside the castle unknowingly. Looking at the crack in the center of the dark blue skull, Hanxing frowned. This power. It's even stronger than Kaido. And this thunderbolt. Humph. Hanxing snorted coldly. With a wave of the palm, the thunder and lightning that permeated the surroundings instantly vanished. Charlotte Linlin, who was walking towards Hanxing in this scene, frowned. Lightning. She could actually control lightning. Purple-eyed Thunder Emperor. It seems that you are really a thunder fruit capable person. What do you mean by that? Charlotte Linlin looked at Hanxing, who suddenly held out her hand and smiled dismissively. Universal pull. A cold drink. A terrifying gravitational force erupted from Hanxing's hand, like an ancient gluttonous gluttony in the dust, and like a black hole in the starry sky. Unprepared, Charlotte Linlin was attracted by Hanxing's suction, and the whole portrait was like a cannonball, flying towards Hanxing. Yes, damn it. Why can't my body move? Charlotte Linlin's face changed greatly as she felt the body move. Sorry, let's show you what a real thunderbolt is. Hanxing walked out of Susano, the dark black arcs roamed around his body, and the whole figure was like a fallen Thor. Looking at Charlotte Linlin, who was getting closer and closer, Hanxing squatted slightly, clenched a fist in one hand, the terrifying force on the fist converged, the black electric snake swam away, and a terrifying coercion was brewing. Boom, boom. At the moment when Charlotte Linlin approached Hanxing, a fist as heavy as a meteorite, with unparalleled coercion, slammed into Charlotte Linlin's abdomen. A piercing pain came from Charlotte Linlin's abdomen, the whole body formed a meniscus, her eyes bulged, and a bloodline appeared at the corner of her mouth. Chapter 468. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. What made her a little unbearable was that the black lightning around her body eroded her body like a lion majesty. Not only her body, but even the soul energy she had captured over the years was rapidly dissipating. How is it possible? How can this guy's thunder and lightning hurt the soul? Charlotte Linlin couldn't care less about the pain in her body. She was shocked. The soul fruit is the foundation of her life. The reason why she has laid down the foundation of myriad kingdoms and became one of the 4 emperors over the years is that in addition to her own children, the fruit ability also occupies a large part. Now that she met someone who could hurt his soul ability, how could she not be shocked, thinking that her soul would be restrained by Hanxing's lightning? The murderous intent on Charlotte Linlin's face is raging, just like the real thing, and the icy breath makes the surrounding temperature drop sharply, like it's coming to the midwinter 12th lunar month. Never, get you out of here. The voice was hoarse and firm. Talk down, Zeus. Charlotte Linlin roared, fists forward. Thundercloud Zeus appeared weakly in front of Charlotte Linlin. Mom, my thunderbolt doesn't work on him. Well, you go to high altitude to harass him. Mom, he left that weird skeleton. Prometheus appeared beside BIGMOM in the form of a flame, and said with a smile. Well, that turtle shell finally came out. He smiled hoarsely. Charlotte Linlin grabbed Prometheus in her hands. With a scorching flame in one hand and a long sharp blade in the other, as soon as he stepped on it, he charged towards Hanxing like a rocky mountain. At the same time, Thundercloud Zeus turned into a violent thundercloud and flew towards the sky. In an instant, the bright sky was filled with dark clouds, and lightning flashed and thundered. Boom, boom. Thunder and lightning as thick as buckets fell from the sky and slammed into Hanxing. Advertisement. You underestimate me. He shook his head and smiled, facing the thunder and lightning in the sky without dodging or avoiding, and looking at the thundercloud Zeus in the sky with a flat face. Boom. The thunder was prosperous, and the dark blue lightning directly bombarded Hanxing. The whole portrait is like a pearl of dark blue bright to ultimate. Charlotte Linlin, who was running towards here not far away, had a happy expression on her face. Well, Zeus did a good job. Hit him to death for me. In the next instant, the thunder light dissipated, Charlotte Linlin's hideous smile stopped, and her face became extremely ugly again. Sure enough, what this guy Zeus said turned out to be true. The indifferent Hanxing stood proudly on the spot. His body and clothes didn't feel messy at all. If it weren't for the pitch black potholes and the scorching smell around him, no one would doubt that he was someone struck by lightning. Looking up at Thundercloud Zeus in the sky, his plain eyes are extremely indifferent, as if he has no emotion, ignores the common people, and regards all living beings as grass. This look made Lei Zeston, who was in a frenzy in the sky, fearful. Arms raised high, dark black thunder and lightning lingered on his body, and an indifferent voice came from Hanxing's mouth. The voice was very low, but Zeus could hear it clearly for some reason, and a cold sweat on the top of his head unconsciously flowed out. Universal pull. The suction erupted, violently like a volcanic eruption, and turned into a rolling wave in the sea. The invisible suction directly reaches Zeus in the sky. With a pull, Zeus in the sky is like a falling meteor falling towards Hanxing. Mother, Zeus is in danger, Prometheus shouted. Well, you don't need to say it. Mom, I saw it, he roared hoarsely. Charlotte Linlin holds Napoleon high, and Prometheus dives into Napoleon instantly. Advertisement. The sharp long blade instantly filled with flames and turned into a flame long blade. He suddenly waved at the front, and shouted, Emperor sword. Powerful country, broken blade. The sword glow is dazzling, and a huge flaming sword energy like a water column shoots out from Napoleon's tail. The sword chi was like flames and silk like waterfalls, like a beam of flame, with sharp sword chi rushing towards Hanxing. Not far away, Parosparrow, headed by the eldest son, watched this scene, and a trace of cold sweat appeared on his forehead. As this Hanxing strength, how can he be like this with his mother? This is too scary. forcing their high-level cadres to fight us decisively. Their high-level commander Katakuri has now been defeated. Gouda, brother Perospero, the personnel have been evacuated successfully. Do we want to stay here? After all, the battle situation outside is not optimistic. Dafu swallowed his saliva and said solemnly. Oh, it looks like the battle has started on the captain's side. We have to speed up too. Where the flame sword energy passed, a long and hot terrifying crack appeared on the ground. I won't do it if I don't want to. I'll go first. You tell Bullet that we will fight them directly and let them play directly. Yes, just, would they like it? It doesn't matter what the struggle. His face was flat, and the corners of his mouth spit out. In a sea full of blood, several ships were frantically opening fire and attacking each other. With the passage of time, the mushroom cloud that covered the sky gradually dissipated until the scene inside was revealed. Got it, big brother Perospero. Daifuku nodded and left with the few remaining cadres. On a pirate ship marked with the flag of the Hanxing pirates, Redfield and Yishao stood on the plywood and looked into the distance. Advertisement. Now they have reflected. Although Katakuri has been defeated by you, but if their Ishin wants to defend, there is nothing we can do. With a smile, he looked at the shells flying in the distance and said solemnly. You all go. I'm here watching Mommy and Hanxing fight. It's fine if Mommy wins, if Mommy loses. Perospero didn't continue. Our speed is already the fastest. The reason why we were able to capture an area of Wangwo so quickly just now is to take advantage of their extraordinary difficulty. Any solution. Deep crater. Giant crater. It's like a scene of a meteorite falling. It's bottomless at a glance. The smoke and dust filled the air, covering the sky and covering the ground, covering the surrounding area for hundreds of meters. This terrifying power was like a natural disaster. A huge mushroom cloud rose from the center of the two, and the terrifying impact swept in all directions like a storm. In an instant, it collided with Charlotte Linlin's flame sword. The earth is broken inch by inch, like rolling waves spreading to the distance with the power of destroying the sky and destroying the earth. No, there is another way. Redfield shook his head. I know, nodding with a smile, looking at the mushroom cloud soaring into the sky in the distance, frowning a little worriedly. Captain, you have to wait for us. The smell of gunpowder and blood filled the surroundings. All nations, Cake Island. The other hand stretched out slowly, and a terrifying repulsion suddenly erupted from the upper hand. The other three generals, together with the combat power of our pirate group, will definitely have a way to take them all down. Boom. On the farthest sides of the pothole, two figures stood proudly, their clothes rustling with the surrounding prestige. Everyone else also understands that if they lose, the BIGMOM pirates will become a rat crossing the street just like the red hair, and will be chased and beaten by Hanxing. Chapter 469. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Not far from the Cake Castle, it disappeared directly, as if it was wiped out from the world, and it has never appeared. Opposite the horror pothole, Hanxing and Charlotte Linlin stare at each other. Well, I didn't expect it. You don't need a blue troll to have such terrifying power. Charlotte Linlin sneered gloomily. There's still so much nonsense. Hanxing looked indifferent, and he took out Thundercloud Zeus with one hand out of nowhere. I don't need this waste. It's useless to me. Mother, it's Zeus. It's Zeus. Prometheus and Napoleon shouted anxiously. Damn it, you let Zeus go. I let you off the Cake Island. Everything today, I thought it didn't happen. Charlotte Linlin said with a pale face. The dark black lightning flashed, and the thundercloud Zeus in Hanxing's hands instantly wailed in pain, and the shrill scream resounded throughout the entire Cake Island. After a while, Thundercloud Zeus exploded directly and disappeared without a trace. Accompany Charlotte Linlin Thundercloud Zeus so far directly died. I feel like you're talking nonsense. Now I'm killing Zeus. I just want to see what you can do to me. With a sneer, Hanxing shook his hands casually and looked directly at Charlotte Linlin. Ah, Charlotte Linlin roared. The hair turned into a flaming flame, and the terrifying power erupted, and the whole person looked like a beast that lost its reason. In the next moment, the bloated figure instantly disappeared in place. Call out. The sky suddenly darkened. Charlotte Linlin held a long flame knife, her whole body surging, and she suddenly swung down at Hanxing. Advertisement. Boom. The ground tore a long crack like paper, and Charlotte Linlin swayed from side to side, looking for Hanxing's location. The body is very bloated and the speed is very fast, but it is still a little weak. Hanxing in the sky commented secretly. The razor jumps in your hand, and swings towards the bottom. Crackle, crackle. When a flash of thunder light fell, it instantly turned into a black sea of thunder, and the violent thunder and lightning spread down like a cobweb, and crashed. Although the dark black lightning was only as thick as a cobweb, not half as thick as Thundercloud Zeus, the destructive energy came from it, making Charlotte Linlin below her heart palpitate. Those thunderbolts. How is that possible? Charlotte Linlin's face was ugly as she felt the movement in the air. Boom, boom. The thunder banged, like a world-annihilating thunder penalty, and the thunder and lightning seemed to be very slow, and in the blink of an eye, they had already fallen from the sky to the bottom of Charlotte Linlin. The momentary absence has made Charlotte Linlin miss the opportunity. It's too late to leave, so I can only resist. I thought the old lady would be afraid of you. Red lips nibbled, Charlotte Linlin slashed Napoleon. With the bonus of Prometheus, one after another flaming sword ore emanated from the flaming long sword. 3 waves were swept out in the blink of an eye. Puff, puff, puff. The combination of 3 flaming sword chi intertwined, turned into a sea of flaming sword chi, and spread towards the thunder in the sky. Boom. Thunder rolls, sharp fire spreads. A monstrous roar resounded throughout the Cake Island. The sea of sword chi and fire is like a huge barrier, blocking the falling of the dark black lightning from the sky. Advertisement. Click, click. One after another dark black thunder and lightning fell from the sky, and there was a sound of glass breaking in the sea of red sword energy that blocked it. There was no obstacle at all, and a hole was drilled by these tiny lightning bolts and fell towards Charlotte Linlin. At this moment, a shrill scream came from Cake Island, and the expressions of the cadres who were fighting changed. Seeing this, other people naturally didn't want to be outdone, and turned into an ancient form, followed by a smile. Crackle, crackle. Is it possible? Smoothie said dismissively, but there was a hint of worry in his eyes. Didn't you see it? It's just the cadre of the original Kaido pirates, the Red Earl, who is shooting now. The 2 of them haven't shot yet. The high-end combat power of their pirate group is not the opponent of the Hanxing pirate group. Then we have to wait. Now our winning rate is only on Mom's side, and that is the only chance. After swiping Smoothie, he said solemnly. Outside the area not far from Cake Island, Katakuri was wrapped in bandages, and led the cadres of the BIGMOM pirates to fight with Redfield and others. 1, 2. In the blink of an eye, the flame barrier in the air directly turned into a honeycomb, and the tiny holes became densely packed. Alas, this is what we mean, and I suspect that the other side also means the same, waiting for the result of the battle in the distance. Monder came over and frowned. Holding a bamboo sword, he shouted, all-out attack. The captain's side has the upper hand. Wait, procrastination. Wait until Mommy's fight with Hanxing is over, Katakuri said succinctly. This guy will make him unforgettable forever. After all, the injury on his body was bestowed by this guy. Speaking of fighting, it would be better to say that Redfield and the others are slaughtering Katakuri and the others, because the level of combat power between the two is not at the same level. Looking at the actions of Hanxing and other cadres not far away, everyone's expressions changed. Advertisement. From Hanxing's thousands of thunders landing to Charlotte Linlin swinging 3 flaming swords to form a sea of flames, these seem to be very long, but they are only completed in a moment. After speaking, the whole person jumped up and ran towards the cake road. Without any hesitation, a dark black thunderbolt crashed down towards Charlotte Linlin. I'll go there. You guys are here to defend the attack of the purple-eyed Thunder Emperor pirates. Katakuri's face was flat. Standing on the deck with a smile on the other side, hearing Charlotte Linlin's screams, a smile appeared on her dull face. It's you. Katakuri looked solemn. What? After speaking, the whole person stepped on the air and rushed towards the ship where Smoothie and others were on. Mom, I'm afraid I won't be able to delay it. Cracker appeared here with scars on his body and some gasping. A huge sword chi slash erupted from Smoothie's hand and swiped fiercely towards the position where Yishao and others were. That's Mom's voice. Bad Mom is in crisis. Cracker said anxiously. I think it's better for you to stay here. The captain's affairs are naturally handled by the captain. What do you think you are? Landfield appeared opposite Katakuri at some point and said with a smile. Being slashed by thousands of thunderbolts, Charlotte Linlin rolled back and forth on the ground in pain, just like the thundercloud Zeus just now. The shrill scream spread throughout the entire Cake Island and even farther. Now the mother's screams are heard, which has made the already crumbling pirates even worse. Now with the full-scale attack of the Hanxing pirates, this battle can be imagined. Their pirates are lost. Sure enough, it's not bad as I thought. We're waiting there. Why aren't they? Mundor sighed. Damn it, these guys. Are you kidding us? Garrett dodged Peggy Wan's attack and walked to Katakuri with an ugly face. At the same time, as a person with the ability to book and book fruit, the existence in charge of the overall situation, the IQ is naturally not high, and you can see the plans of Yishao and others at a glance. Chapter 470. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Just as Mondol had expected, with the screams of Charlotte Linlin, the morale of the BIGMOM pirates, which was already very weak, was even more drained. It didn't take long for him to be beaten by Yishao and others, and all the officers of the pirate group were basically captured alive, except for Katakuri who confronted Redfield in midair. You lose. Surrender. Don't wait for Charlotte Linlin to save you. She can't be Captain Hanxing's opponent. She doesn't know his horror. You never know where his limits are. Redfield said flatly. Impossible. I will never surrender. Katakuri shook his head with a firm expression. Sorry, it's up to you. A smile led Bullet and the others to appear next to Redfield and said. It's the same sentence. My dictionary has not surrendered. Katakuri looked at the three with a smile, his expression unchanged. The Nuo fruit was activated, and 6 thick arms appeared out of thin air behind him. During the armed eruption, the figure of Katakuri flashed and rushed towards the three of them with a smile. Shaking his head slightly with a smile, the three of them shot without hesitation. With 6 arms waving, black fists pierced the air with bursts of sounds of breaking through the air, and attacked the three of them. Katakuri is going to be 1,003. Facing Katakuri's actions, the three of them smiled and looked indifferent. The bamboo sword was drawn, the sword light flashed, and the sword chi shot up and down. 3 sharp sword chi blasted towards Katakuri. Field who came here looked a little elegant, the red paper umbrella shone with a bright metallic luster, and when he swayed it at will, all the black fists of Katakuri were organized by him. Bullet is simple and rude, with outbursts of ghost energy and surging brute force, like a mad beast, punching like a meteorite, punching Katakuri with a punch. Although the three of them joined forces for the first time, they cooperated seamlessly. Seeing the explosion to ultimate, Katakuri dodges back and forth from Smile and Bullet's attack. For a time, the three of them fought extremely fiercely in midair. From one side to the other, the air in the sky froze for a while, and a terrifying aftermath erupted from the three-man battle. Katakuri tried his best, but there was no chance. The three of them with a smile and Redfield alone were stronger than Katakuri, and Bullet was only stronger than him. Not to mention that the three of them joined forces, so this battle broke out quickly and ended quickly. Not long after, Bullet landed on the pirate ship with the unconscious Katakuri on his face. Brother Katakuri, Mundo, who was already in prison in seastone handcuffs, murmured. Advertisement. The rest of the BIGMOM pirates were also worried. He handed Katakuri to the others with a smile, walked to the plywood and said loudly, the battle is over, all the crew head to Cake Island. Support the captain. Yes. On the field, at this time, BIGMOM didn't know that because of his roar, his pirate group had already lost. Rolling on the ground for a moment, I felt the lightning on my body gradually dissipate, and the figure flashed to pick up Napoleon and head towards Hanxing. A pair of eyes were extremely red, like a demon, and extremely mad. Hanxing was naturally unwilling to be outdone, his arms erupted, and his thin fists carried the power to destroy the world. Dang. The two fought fiercely as soon as they collided. This battle was not a distant attack, but the most primitive hand-to-hand combat. The sword is full of energy, and the flame is full of fire. Fist is like a shooting star, heavy as Mount High. The aftermath of the fierce battle alone made Perospero, who was watching from a distance, burst into a cold sweat. Mother, you must win, whispered Perospero. Boom, boom. The earth shook, dust flew, and the entire Cake Island was reduced to a battlefield for the two of them. Only at this time did Perospero know what the 4 emperors looked like at full combat power. The house is like a piece of paper and shatters when touched. The ground is like a quagmire. One punch creates a pothole. The two of them are like tyrannosaurs demolishing the house. From one end to the other, everything in front of them explodes wherever they pass. Advertisement. In just a moment, none of the entire Cake Island was a complete building, and there were ruins everywhere. Before they knew it, the two were already in midair. In midair, Hanxing looked indifferent. There was no sweat on his face, as if there was no fierce battle just now. Looking at Charlotte Linlin not far away, she sighed in her eyes. It's worthy of the title of a steel balloon. The fight just now, it was a fight. It would be better to say that Hanxing beat Charlotte Linlin. Hanxing is fast. Often Charlotte Linlin swings his sword once, he can hit 3 punches. Punch to the flesh, but unfortunately, after so many punches, Charlotte Linlin doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. However, it's all right to warm up a little bit. The movement just now, Shangbi smiled. They've heard it, and it's time to end it. As soon as he thought of this, the dark black lightning flashed on Hanxing's body. He waved his right hand, and when the lightning gathered, a long spear composed of lightning appeared in his hand. He narrowed his eyes, and in the next instant, with the roar of the air, Hanxing appeared in front of Charlotte Linlin like an afterimage. The dark black spear danced, and the surrounding space shook, sweeping away towards Charlotte Linlin. Well, I'll be afraid of you if you're an old lady. Charlotte Linlin grinned grimly. Armed with a flaming sword. Seeing this, Hanxing sneered inwardly, what a fool. When, there was a sound of weapons crashing around. Dark black lightning and flames are intertwined. 2 screams rang out in midair one after another. Ah, it hurts, Mom. X2. These two are Prometheus and Napoleon. Advertisement. As these two screams sounded, the hot flames instantly dimmed. Whoosh. Prometheus instantly turned into its original form, and appeared in front of Charlotte Linlin with a weak face. Not to be outdone, Napoleon turned into a felt hat and flew over Charlotte Linlin's head. Mom, his lightning is so painful. It hurts. If it can hurt us, I'm afraid we will disappear once it comes. Prometheus whispered. He. Before Charlotte Linlin could speak, Hanxing sneered. The spear continued to dance. The black spear was as fast as lightning. The spear shot out like a dragon, and each shot weighed 1,000 pounds. Of course, the most important thing is the lightning on the spear. Knowing the power of the spear, Charlotte Linlin didn't dare to resist it. She didn't want to endure the pain that was piercing her bones just now. You can only dodge back and forth with your flexible body. But, can Charlotte Linlin's body be as flexible as Hanxing? The answer is no. Not long after, Charlotte Linlin screamed again in the sky. Farewell. Looking at Charlotte Linlin, who was tearing up and yelling, Hanxing's face was indifferent and his voice was flat. The black long spear turned into an afterimage, violent thunder and lightning flashed, and the point of the spear was directly aimed at Charlotte Linlin's neck and stabbed fiercely. Crackle, crackle. The thunder was dazzling, as bright as the black sun. The terrifying force erupted, and the sharp spear shot directly into Charlotte Linlin's neck. The screams disappeared. Charlotte Linlin looked at Hanxing not far away, and the black spear in front of her. Her eyes were full of disbelief and envy. He opened his mouth to say something, but what came out was silence, and the strength in his body gradually dissipated. Charlotte Linlin looked at Hanxing with a ferocious face, until her body gradually stiffened, and she would stare at Hanxing until she died. This resentment was not ordinary. Chapter 471. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Not far away, looking at Perospero who fell from the sky, the horror in his eyes are undisguised. He swallowed and lost his voice. Mom, this is dead. How could it be? After finishing speaking, as soon as he stepped, his body turned into an afterimage and appeared in front of Charlotte Linlin in the blink of an eye. Looking at the hole in the neck and the faint scent of meat inside, feeling the cold body of Charlotte Linlin, her body trembled involuntarily. Looking up at Hanxing, who appeared in front of him at some point, there was no angry expression in his eyes, instead he was frightened and his face was pale. You actually killed Mom. Me, what me? If you win or lose, if you become a pirate, you must be prepared to die. Hanxing said indifferently. There are only two paths in front of you now, one is to join my pirate group, and the other is to die. Perospero opened his mouth, but didn't say anything. After a moment of silence, I want to see what my younger brothers and sisters plan to do. Yes, they're not dead. You'll be reunited later. Of course, if they don't agree to join, there's only one consequence. You know. I know. Perospero nodded disappointedly, although Charlotte Linlin gave birth to them only for her own benefit, forming a pirate group. Apart from the name, I and Charlotte Linlin have no relationship at all, but they are my own mother. Now that I am dead, I feel a little uncomfortable. Perhaps it was because the sound of the fighting had stopped, and those who were hiding in the BIGMOM pirates and building underground shelters boldly came out to see the situation. Advertisement. On a deserted island, a huge corpse lies next to Perospero and Hanxing. That's it. Linlin lost, exclaimed Stuzy, one of the 6 Dark Kings, queen of the Pleasure District. It's really big news. 4 Emperors Charlotte Linlin died in battle. The entire Cake Island was captured by the purple-eyed Thunder Emperor pirates. Tisk tisk, new world is about to change. Linlin died in battle. Do you think this Hanxing will attack us? Ocean King Umit worried. It shouldn't be. He's not so stupid. If he kills us, the entire underground world order will collapse. Besides, we're not from the BIGMOM pirates. We're just here for the tea party, OPEC said solemnly. But the words are not very confident. They have never dealt with Hanxing. Who knows what kind of person this guy is? While the few people were talking, pirate ships appeared around the entire Cake Island. On the deck, Hanxing's officers stood proudly. A moment later, the pirate ship docked, and the cadres headed by Leadfield boarded Cake Island and walked towards Hanxing. Boss, this battle is really fun. Bullet stepped forward and shouted excitedly. That's right, this fight feels good. Peggy Wan followed. Hanxing shook his head slightly. These two militants really didn't know what to say. Is it BIGMOM's corpse? The captain really can. A smile stepped forward, his eyes shrank, and his face was shocked. How else can he be our captain? Redfield nodded with a smile. To him, it was just BIGMOM. He could kill himself if he wanted to, and it was no joke to be on the same level as Roger Whitebeard. Okay, stop talking nonsense. Hurry up and send someone to gather the BIGMOM territory, and strive to complete the integration in a short time. Hanxing scolded with a smile. Black Maria is already working on this. In a month at most, the territory of BIGMOM will completely fall into our hands. Yamato narrowed his eyes, and a flush of excitement appeared on his face. Advertisement. What are they going to do? Kill them. Bullet pointed to Morgans and the others in the distance, and gave a grim smile. The underground world is a big piece of cake. It's no exaggeration to say that the 6 people in the distance lead the entire underground world. Hanxing touched his chin and said coldly. Take it. Can't take it. Just kill it. We'll grab the site ourselves. It's up to me to do this. Yi Xiao suggested to himself. Ro, my younger siblings, didn't you say you didn't kill them? After seeing a few people talking, Perospero stepped forward and said. They're all in the cabin. Bullet takes Perospero to find his younger siblings. No problem, boss. ... Just as Hanxing and others were dealing with the follow-up, the whole sea exploded because of his big moves. Charlotte Linlin's tea party is already eye-catching, and the Hanxing pirates' attack has no hidden meaning. Therefore, at the moment when he started, all the information was already flying in the sky, and it spread all over the sea in an instant. Naval headquarters. When I was thinking about whether to give up the position of Marshal to Aokiji or to Akainu according to the 5 elders. A marine ran over in a panic. Marshal Sengoku. This is the special information from New World Kizulu Admiral. Sengoku, who was originally a little dissatisfied because of the panicked marine, heard these words and stood up, grabbed the marine's information, and checked it out. Advertisement. Marine intelligence is divided into 3 levels, 2 levels, 1 level, and 1 special level according to the priority. Extras only appear when the 4 emperors fight, or when the celestial dragons are killed. Therefore, Sengoku was so flustered after learning this intelligence level. When he opened the information, Sengoku saw 10 lines. His face became more and more ugly, more and more gloomy. Sengoku, what's written on it? Your face is really ugly. Staff Crane asked, waving the marine away. After Marine left, Sengoku handed over the information to Staff Officer Crane and said solemnly, when Charlotte Linlin started the tea party, the purple-eyed Thunder Emperor pirates started a full-scale attack on the BIGMOM field. The results of the battle are unknown now, except that the main city of Charlotte Linlin has not been occupied, and all other areas have been occupied. As for Charlotte Linlin's life and death, I don't know. Kizaru is investigating. Oh, no need to check. We don't know whether Charlotte Linlin is dead or not, but Charlotte Linlin's defeat is a sure thing, and her field will be occupied by Hanxing in a short time. The Crane staff sounded the horror of Hanxing inside. As you said, I'm not very optimistic about BIGMOM. Wait for her to be defeated. The entire 10,000 Kingdoms region will completely fall into the hands of the Hanxing pirates. In addition to the realm of the red-haired pirates, the original territory in the New World for emperors is only Whitebeard. Whitebeard will not let him go. The whole New World will become his possession sooner or later. All we have to do now is to prepare for the battle. Staff Officer Crane said solemnly. Prepare for battle. Sengoku wondered. This is just after the fight with the Whitebeard pirates. Marine has not recovered yet, so what are you preparing for? Staff Officer Crane gave Sengoku an angry look. When he has finished digesting the BIGMOM pirates area, he will launch a total attack on Whitebeard. After defeating Whitebeard, we are the only enemy in the New World. Chapter 472. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Whitebeard. It shouldn't be possible. Aren't they allies? Hanxing even saved Fire Fist Ace when he came forward. Sengoku frowned, a little disbelieving. He felt that Hanxing and Whitebeard were the most likely alliance. Didn't you hear Hanxing say that he shot Ace to fight Ace for Sister Ace to return her favor? Staff Officer he shook his head. After a pause, he continued, since Hanxing established a pirate group and arrived in the New World, he first defeated Kaido of the Beasts and conquered the Beasts' pirates, and then defeated the Redheads and gathered the Redheads' territory, and now he is fighting against the BIGMOM pirates. As a result, both of us know that the victory of Hanxing and the pirates is already a fact. It's just a matter of time. After he has digested the BIGMOM pirates' territory, he will definitely attack Whitebeard. This is an indisputable fact. Purple-eyed Thunder Emperor. This emperor has already shown his ambitions. Perhaps 1 month, maybe 3 months, Hanxing will definitely take action on Whitebeard and then unify the New World. After that, he will take action on our marine. After listening to Staff Crane's analysis, Sengoku's heart sank to the bottom. If it really hits us, even if all of his marines are dispatched, it may not necessarily be Hanxing's opponent. So, we can only ask the world government for help. If they want to sit and watch the destruction of our marines, they can stand by and watch. Staff Officer he said indifferently. It's just speculation now. The ultimate goal of party affairs is to stabilize Hanxing and the consequences of their war. Blue. War Drum took out the phone bug and frowned. It's Kizaru's phone bug, and the results should come out. Hey, I'm Sengoku. Did the Kizaru result come out? Marshal Sengoku has come out. Hanxing has won. BIGMOM is dead. Cake Island Gao Kizaru said solemnly. Got it. Come back. Sengoku's face was a little ugly. Although he had already guessed the result of the battle, he was still a little unhappy when he heard the result. Advertisement. Yo, isn't this Marine Admiral Kizaru? Why are you reporting the situation to Marshal Sengoku? A teasing voice came from behind Kizaru. Kizaru turned around and found that Hanxing was looking at him with a smile on his face. Next to him were Yishao and Redfield. Kizaru's face changed, and he pretended to be relaxed. Isn't this seeing your big move? Come here to see it. I didn't expect it. BIGMOM was also defeated by you. Except for the Whitebeard pirates, the entire New World is under your control. No way. I was born to like to occupy territory, and I have it since my mother's womb, and I can't change it. Hanxing sighed. Then, it's over. Can we leave now? We just occupied this place, and there are still many things to deal with. Well, okay. Goodbye. Okay. Goodbye Kizaru Admiral, Marshal Sengoku. Hanxing smiled and waved. Watching Kizaru leave, Redfield was a little surprised. Why didn't you deal with him? The speed is too fast. I can't keep him. The most urgent task is to digest the territory of the BIGMOM pirates and conquer Katakuri and the others. If we can completely conquer them, our occupation of the BIGMOM pirates' territory will be reduced exponentially. He smiled and pondered. Then work hard to capture the Whitebeard pirates by the end of this year. At the beginning of the new year, we will fight Marine and make the whole New World our territory. This mission is a little difficult. I suddenly admire Bullet and the others who only know how to fight. Redfield smiled at first, and then said with envy. It's just been busy for a while, and after the decisive battle with Marine is over, there will be time to rest in the future. Whitebeard pirates. On the Mobity, Marco fell from the sky and told Whitebeard what he had seen and heard today. At the end, he said again, Dad, I think the BIGMOM pirates are about to disappear this time. We have to be prepared. Advertisement. Hanxing, you mean the one who saved me? Ace frowned and said. Yes, it's him. Marco nodded. Are there pirates that strong? Ace was a little puzzled. This is not to blame him. Since he came back with Whitebeard, he has been deeply affected, and has been retreating in the pirate ship since then, whether it is physical strength or two-color hockey. If it wasn't for being pulled out by Josh today, he would still be cultivating hard to prevent the scene from happening not long ago. Is he that good? Ace looked surprised. Don't think too much, he's just that powerful, Margao said flatly. Goo la la la, Hanxing kid, Whitebeard laughed, attracting the attention of the people around him. That's a formidable enemy. What does Dad mean? Margot was a little confused. Don't worry about it. Daddy has his own means. Whitebeard's eyes were deep, so sharp that he didn't dare to look directly. Got it, Dad, Mal said in a low voice. Time was like flowing water. 3 days passed quietly in the blink of an eye, and in 3 days, the news of Hanxing attacking one of the 4 emperors, the BIGMOM pirates, turned from darkness to light. It made the whole sea the object of discussion, but more people were terrified. In an ordinary town in West Blue, in the pub, the place was full of friends, the voices were full of people, and the noise was extremely loud. You must know that it was still morning, not the night of the highest peak. Purple-eyed Thunder Emperor pirates. It's not ordinary. Advertisement. Yeah, 3 of the 4 emperors were defeated by him, and I'm afraid it won't be long before Whitebeard is attacked. Whitebeard, possibly. That's the top being on the sea. Who knows? Maybe soon. One by one, pirates and civilians are discussing with great interest here. Such a scene is not only happening at West Blue, but all over the world. On a beautiful island, Shanks looked at the newspaper in his hand, and a trace of complexity and sigh flashed in his eyes. Sure enough. He really attacked the BIGMOM pirates. Now only Whitebeard is left. Huh, with a long breath of smoke, Beckman's eyes widened. After the complete erosion of Charlotte Linlin's territory, Whitebeard is his next target. Do you think we still have a chance? Shanks smiled bitterly, mocking himself. There is one. There is only that one, Beckman said solemnly. What chance? Lakelu hurriedly said. When Hanxing and the others devour the BIGMOM pirates' territory, they will have a fight with Whitebeard. Then it's time to fight Marine and decide who the new world belongs to. That's when we join forces with Marine. Maybe there's a chance. Joining with Marine, the Whitebeard will lose. There will even be a separate game of kings with Hanxing. Because of Ace's favor, Whitebeard will only choose this. So we only have one way to go. Shanks felt a little lonely. That's right. If I'm not mistaken, the decisive battle between Hanxing and Marine should be at the beginning of next year. During this time, let's find more like-minded people and fight against Hanxing. Beckman pondered. Okay, Shanks nodded. Chapter 473. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Revolutionary Army Headquarters. Mr. Long, I feel that your decision was correct, Sabo said solemnly in the conference room. Yeah, I didn't hold out much hope at the time, I just gave our Revolutionary Army an optional escape route. Now it seems that the original decision may save our Revolutionary Army. Long sighed with emotion. Yeah, the BIGMOM pirates. It's also a behemoth for us, and now this guy is gone. Tisk tisk, it seems that in the entire New World, only Whitebeard's territory is not under his control. Sabo said with some envy. After so many years of development, their revolutionary army can only develop secretly, and to develop revolution in some remote places is not an exaggeration to say that it is a petty fight, and it is nothing to the world government. Otherwise, if it were a mortal danger to the world government, with the strength of the world government, they would have launched a frantic attack on them long ago. To put it badly, Hanxing's power has surpassed them now, and they are properly number one in New World. Mr. Long, are you saying that Hanxing will really fight against the Whitebeard pirates? Sabo was a little worried at this time. Since Ace's execution, he has regained his full memory. Hanxing is going to fight Whitebeard, that is to shoot Ace. Brother is in trouble as a sworn brother, he has to help Ace. There will be a war, but you don't have to worry about that. Whitebeard will think about it. After all, he doesn't want his sons to be in trouble. Long said flatly. The most important thing right now is the North Blue Revolution. Try to get everything done there by the end of the year. Understood, Mr. Long. Cake Island. In a huge wooden house, Hanxing is sitting in the main seat, next to one of the 6 kings of the underground world, queen of the pleasure district, Stussy. Not far away stood smiling and waiting for someone. Mr. Hanxing, I promise you, Happy Street surrenders to you like the other 6 kings. Why did you leave me here alone? Stussy said carefully. Advertisement. Then you don't need to ask. Of course, the captain is interested in you. Peggy Wan cooed. Bang. As soon as he finished speaking, he received 2 heavy iron fists on the top of his head. Yamato and T gave him a stern look. Looking at the sudden anger of the elder sister and Yamato, Peggy Wan knew that he was wrong, and quickly shut up embarrassingly. Ignoring Peggy Wan's big mouth, Hanxing looked at Stussy with a half smile. You can get the things in the underground world even if you don't give them to me, but now I'm not talking about this. It's another thing. What's the matter? Stucci's heart was inexplicably tense. Don't be nervous. Just ask something simple, Hanxing said with a smile. For example, what action does the world government have? Or what task does the 5 elders have for you? Whispering softly, Stussy's whole body trembled. Her whole body was like falling into an ice cave, and she pretended to be puzzled. With a self-confident smile, Mr. Hanxing, I don't know what you're talking about. I've heard of world government. I've heard of 5 elders, but they're not from world government. Is it clear to you? But world government's agents were all wiped out by me in the top battle. I wonder if you, a hidden spy, can still play a role. I really don't know what you're going to say. Stussy refused again. She knows that if she doesn't admit it, there is still a chance of her life. Once she admits it, it will be her own death. Lock it up. Wait until she says it. Hanxing waved. Okay, boss. RT and Yamato stepped forward, looked at Stussy with interest, picked up the sea-stone handcuffs, and left with Stussy. The movements are simple and extremely fast, making Hanxing a little stunned. After arriving here, I realized that this Celestial Dragons is lousy. Who killed Celestial Dragons by Hanxing. It was driving well, but the slave merchants on the ship were talking about it. Advertisement. You're too slow. Hanxing frowned. Oh, are you here for revenge? Hanxing said with a smile. His voice was indeed extremely cold. Passing through this area, and will be returning to Marine Station, G5 base soon. This slave ship has Celestial Dragons, and this Marine Admiral Kizaru guards it. After a pause, Quinn hesitated. This Celestial Dragons has something to do with you. It's the father of the Celestial Dragons you killed before. Kizaru, why did you Marine enter our territory to start a war with us? Fuzzeffer sneered. Sea of Nations. Hanxing shook his head and ignored Bullet, the fighting maniac. His figure flashed, turned into a black streamer, and disappeared from everyone's sight. Who is it? He had an indescribable and unpredictable feeling about the aura of Hanxing, even in the face of Marshal Sengoku. You are underestimating the old man. Kizaru is only a guard. Do you understand the guard? Here I am the one who calls the shots. Rosward, who was next to him with bubbles of branches, shouted. Invading our waters. It's really weird. Who doesn't know our power in the whole new world now, and there are still people who are not afraid of death. Hanxing smiled and was a little curious. A large slave merchant ship. Boss, I'm going to. Bullet raised his hand and said excitedly. Celestial Dragons might still have some role to play in the Grand Line, but in New World, it's a waste of paper. Slave merchant ships. That's an invasion. Say what else? Advertisement. As for the bad old man next to him, is he just a fool? He can be killed in an instant. Fosfu and Sasaki discovered it when they were patrolling, and are now confronting them. The nearby Jin has already rushed over. Kizaru wants to cry but has no tears now. He is really sitting at home, and disaster comes from the sky. If he wants to talk about who he doesn't want to be in contact with in the New World, he is a proper Hanxing. After a while, the drudgery fell to Kizaru. I don't think it's possible to fight when you get there. You and Yi Xiao should quickly subdue Katakuri and the others. Give them 2 more days. Today is the 3rd day. Let's see how they think about it. Kizaru's face was ugly, and he felt like a dog in his heart. Both Fuzifu and Sasaki ignored his yelling and stared straight at Kizaru. For the 2 of them, it was only Kizaru who made the decision. Boss, it's not good. Someone has invaded our waters. Quinn walked up and said with a strange expression. Originally, he was lying well at the G5 base, but suddenly he received a call from Marshal Sengoku, saying that a Celestial Dragons had left from the Golden City of New World, and he had to go to the Wenguo area to see. If you have to make a fuss, come here to have a look. This time you are dumbfounded, and the slave trader who can't be the master has to ask Celestial Dragons to make a big phone call and ask for a bodyguard. Let him hurry over and keep the Celestial Dragons safe. That's it. Then I'll go too. I'll be here today. Hanxing got up and said coldly. Isn't there a Hanxing boss? Bullet didn't care. Yes, boss. Bullet said in frustration. Where have they been? 2 ships are confronting each other here. Chapter 474. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Tweet. A loud chirping sounded from the sky. Sasaki and Fuzifu, who were familiar with the sound, breathed a sigh of relief. As far as the 2 of them are telling the truth, if they face Kizaru, the consequences can be imagined. The cruel words just said are just face-saving words. Now with Jin's support, the confidence in their hearts will naturally follow. Reinforcements, Kizaru murmured, his face not very good looking. Saint Roswald, the support from their side is about to arrive. I may not be able to protect your well-being alone, or let's go first. You will be very dangerous here, Kizaru euphemistically said. His implication is that the old man, we should go, just scolding here, the master will come later, I can't save you. But, what is the character of celestial dragons? Proud, arrogant. Kizaru's words, not only did not make him have the plan to retreat, but aroused his stubborn character. No need, I'm standing here, I want to see if these gangsters really dare to kill celestial dragons. Besides, you're here, I'm relieved, I still heard about your strength. Saint Roswald waved his hand, and his words were full of optimism towards Kizaru. Kizaru, if the dog just beeped, then now it is to pick up and eat the cake that the dog fell on the ground. Don't you have a brain? Can't I hear what I say? Are you still optimistic about me? Where is this place? New World. Advertisement. It's enough for you to make a fortune in the front of the four seas. Come here to show your prestige. Don't you know how dangerous this place is? Even the old man, as a marine admiral, is in danger of falling here. Are celestial dragons' minds so lighthearted? The corners of the mouth twitched violently, the birdsong in the sky became louder and louder, and the black spots in the distance became bigger and bigger. With gusts of hot wind, Jin returned to human form and landed beside Sasaki and Fuzef. Kizaru, Jin asked coldly, do you know what it means to trespass on the territory of our purple-eyed Thunder Emperor pirates? If it was said that Sasaki and Fuzifu were intimidating just now, then Jin's tone was full of icy coldness and murderous intent. Oh, the tone is so cold. I want to leave too, Kizaru said helplessly. Wait a minute, I'll ask Marshal Sengoku for instructions. 3 minutes, otherwise, don't blame us for being rude. Jin's words were concise, but he had this confidence. If there is only one person in Kizaru, he will not be like this. Don't forget that there is a burden next to Kizaru. As long as you are fighting with Kizaru, let both Sasaki and Fuzifu beside you grab the burden. The battle can be over. Who are you? Are you the subordinate of that untouchable Hanxing? Kizaru, who was on the phone, made a mistake, the awesome Roswald Saint said very proudly. Ant, go away, what nonsense, kill you, Jin said with a cold face. What did you say? You dare to talk to me like that? Do you know who I am? Saint Roswald's face changed, and he jumped up and cursed. Noisy, looking for death. As the leader of the three disasters, Jin's strength and temper are far from being so easy to talk about. He admires the strong the most, but he doesn't have a good face for the weak, especially the ant in front of him. Advertisement. As for what celestial dragons? Sorry, I've never heard of it. In New World, there are only strong people, and identity has no effect at all. Therefore, after hearing the noise of Saint Roswald, Jin did not hesitate at all, jumped up, and his whole body was tall. Jump high. Lift your feet. The flames flow on the black toes, like falling meteorites, slamming towards Saint Roswald below. There was a roar, and the powerful coercion increased several times at this moment, as if stepping into the mud. Kizaru, who was on the phone, saw this, his face changed, he hurriedly put down the phone bug in his hand, the golden light gathered, and a golden long sword appeared in his hand instantly. The figure flashed in front of Saint Roswald, and it was heavily bombarded with Jin's whip leg. Boom, a powerful roar sounded, the aftermath swept the surroundings like a hurricane. Jin's face wrinkled, Kizaru, what do you mean? Do you really want to fight? Well, of course not, it's just celestial dragons, you should know, I have to keep him safe. Behind him, there was fear in Saint Roswald's eyes, and his body staggered to the ground, leaving a little water stain from the middle of his trousers. Pale face, bitch, untouchables you dare to rival the great celestial dragons. Kizaru, kill him for me, kill him. The dog jumping over the wall and looking crazy is the true portrayal of Saint Roswald today. Kizaru's face changed, and his face became even more bitter. Can't you say a word less? Can't you see how serious the atmosphere is now? Hey, what's the matter with Kizaru? Why are you so noisy? Sengoku's majestic voice came from the phone bug beside him. Hearing Sengoku's figure, Saint Roswald's body was clever, and he rolled and crawled to grab the phone bug not far away. With a livid face, he roared, Sengoku, I am Saint Roswald, now I am attacked and almost died, you immediately shoot Marine to come here to support. Immediately, or I will die immediately. In the office, Sengoku's ears go numb at the sudden roar. Saint Roswald, didn't I send Kizaru to protect you? Advertisement. Kizaru, he's facing off against the enemy now, and he can't even deal with a single enemy, and what about Marine Admiral? Street. Teasin, Roswald said. Sengoku, Marshal Sengoku, Hanxing has already sent someone here, even Hanxing may be on his way, I want to retreat, but Saint Roswald will not retreat, so I want to ask you if you need some special means. At this time, Kizaru's distant cry came from the phone. Yes, allow. The most important thing is to protect the safety of Saint Roswald. You try to take him away from the Hanxing site and return to our marine site. Sengoku didn't want to agree. He knew the nature of celestial dragons very well, and that's what Kizaru meant when he called him. After that, I will hang up on the excuse that I am busy with official business. But at this time, a familiar voice came from the phone bug, and upon hearing this voice, Sengoku dismissed the hung-up phone bug and listened carefully. Yo, Kizaru, we've known each other for a long time. What do you think we should do today? Are you sure you want to fight with our pirate group? Falling from the sky, Hanxing said indifferently. We just came here to see the scenery, you think too much. Let's leave now, let's leave now. Kizaru, I'm not discussing with you again, understand? Yes, stay, I'll let you go, Hanxing said with a cold expression, pointing to Saint Roswald not far away. Impossible, I'm here to protect him. If I hand him over to you, you should change it. Kizaru refused directly. Hanxing showed a smile and whispered softly, you have to be clear, I'm not discussing with you. Understand? Saint Roswald, who had seen the murderer, wanted to order Kizaru to kill Hanxing. But after listening to the conversation between the two, he knew no matter how stupid he was that the enemy in front of him, Kizaru, might not be his opponent. Chapter 475. Previous chapter. Next chapter. Advertisement. Even after hearing that Hanxing wanted him, Saint Roswald shook his head quickly with a terrified expression on his face. He frantically said to the phone bug, Sengoku, did you hear that? He's going to kill me. Kill me. Quickly send someone here. Quickly send someone here. Sengoku is also here. That's right. Sengoku, how do you think this matter should be resolved? Hanxing swept away the phone bug in Saint Roswald's hand and said indifferently. Let Kizaru and the others leave. We Marine will give you satisfactory compensation. Sengoku murmured from the phone bug. We're not short of money now. Come on, I'll give you 2 options. One is at my request. I want that scum celestial dragons. Another one. Hanxing's voice paused for a while, and his voice was icy to the bone. It was I who took action personally and destroyed all your marine branches in New World. Don't doubt if I said it was true or false. You know that I have that strength. Kizaru can't stop me. Kizaru has completely let go of his heart at this time, and he has his own boss to come forward to resist, and now he can only wait for the two to discuss the result. However, the conditions proposed by Hanxing are really not ordinary, ruthless. With celestial dragons on the one hand and Marine's years of hard work in vain, it's a dilemma. I know this choice makes it a little difficult for you. I will give you 5 minutes to think about it, and after 5 minutes, if you don't speak, I will default you to choose the first one. Sengoku, I'll give you an answer in 5 minutes. After Sengoku finished, the phone worm disconnected and returned to its original state. Hanxing was not in a hurry, looked at Saint Roswald who was already a little scared not far away, shook his head slightly and ignored it. Sasaki, remember to watch the time. When the time is up, if Sengoku doesn't call, he will be arrested and killed in front of everyone in the sea, and tell them the consequences of challenging our pirates. Okay, boss Hanxing. Sasaki grinned, looking at the unwilling Roswald Saint with a hint of excitement. He's killed a lot of people, but it's the first time like celestial dragons. Being stared at by Sasaki, Saint Roswald's face was even more frightened, and he stumbled behind Kizaru, begging for some security. Advertisement. Marine Sengoku office. The moment he hung up the phone, Sengoku called the 5 elders. Lord 5 elders, I'm Sengoku, I have something to tell you, Sengoku said solemnly. Speak, the sword-wielding old man said briefly while holding the phone bug. Then Sengoku told the 5 elders everything that happened in New World. At the end, Lord 5 elders, I really don't know how to choose this option, so I can only call you. There is no need to choose. New World's defense is not only because you have spent countless dollars, but even we have lost a lot of energy, and it took more than 10 years to develop to this day. Humph, how can you give up just because of a Roswald Saint? Just pick the first one. Also let Kizaru come back. And a piece of news was announced to the public saying that Saint Roswald unfortunately encountered the Hanxing pirates and was killed in New World. I hope celestial dragons don't go to New World as much as possible. I see, Sengoku said and hung up the phone. Then call Kizaru directly, and Hanxing gave him 5 minutes to forget. As soon as he entered, Saint Roswald was like a wild dog smelling the fragrance of meat, and his terrified face instantly became extremely excited. Sengoku is me, how are you going to go back in my place? Sorry Lord Roswald, I'm looking for Kizaru, I'm in Marshal Sengoku. Kizaru, who had guessed the result, immediately grabbed the phone bug from Holy Roswald's hands, and said with a flat face. Go back to the G5 base to guard. Kizaru understood what it meant. I know Marshal Sengoku. After Kizaru finished speaking, his body turned into a golden streamer and disappeared in place, regardless of Saint Roswald next to him. Advertisement. He had encountered such a result long ago, and he was not surprised, but it was a pity. Following Sasaki and the others back, as soon as they entered, they saw everyone headed by Katakuri standing in the hall, and some people were even talking and laughing. Hanxing's eyes lit up when he saw this. He knew that Katakuri and the others should have surrendered. Now, Hanxing clapped his palms and said with a smile, let's welcome members like Katakuri. Tonight's banquet. If you don't get drunk, you won't go home. If not, just leave. Our pirate group doesn't need this kind of means. What we want is strength. Of course, join us. That's a family. Naturally there will be no fakes. Okay, boss Hanxing. Sasaki smiled grimly and walked towards Saint Roswald. Well, I hope your promises to us are true, Katakuri said seriously. Okay, but, boss Hanxing, aren't you going back? Sasaki was a little puzzled. It's Charlotte Linlin's way to win over other forces. Now you recognize me as the boss. I call the shots. I don't care if you have a relationship between husband and wife. Sasaki, do it. Golden gold fruit ability. With him, our pirate group is equivalent to having inexhaustible money. Turning his head to look at Katakuri and the others next to him, think clearly. Real. Looking at the sudden departure of Kizaru's eyes, Roswald's eyes were split, and he cursed wildly. It's back. Hanxing nodded with a smile. The crowd cheered. Advertisement. Then go back and make arrangements first. Everyone is very busy these days. After a few days, take everyone to where to have a good time. Immediately subdue him. After a while, he came over with a bloody brain. Kizaru, how dare you go? How dare you? And Sengoku, you. Oh, do you understand very well? Why is this bone so hard to chew? Golden City, one of the emperors of the underground world. It is said that its master controls 20% of the Bailey circulation in the entire underground world. As far as I know, this pig's head is here because he has just returned from the Golden City not far from us. Yeah, a bit. This man is very close to the nobles in the world, and many nobles play in his entertainment city. Boss Kaido once wanted to do it, but then gave up. Oh, whether it's the marine or the underworld, it's black and white. It is said that it can use the power of money to use the world government, and its power spreads all over the world. Even the 6 kings of the dark world are inferior to it. Jin frowned. The crescent moon hangs high, and the stars in the sky shine like diamonds. Captain, you're back. With a sharp smile, he hurriedly said. Just bring it up when you go back, and let me know if you disagree. I'll call the shots for you. When Hanxing's words fell, Charlotte, who was behind her, had a hint of surprise in their eyes, and those who were married were surprised. No problem. Since you joined, let me announce it too. I know many of you are married, but you don't like them. Okay, then let's join. Take it to Morgan's. He knows what to do. Captain Hanxing, really? One of the Charlotte tribesmen said excitedly.